All right, everybody, good evening to you from Kyiv, Ukraine. My name is Anu Ojo, and I would like to welcome all of our viewers all over the world watching us right now on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, this is a special series of program that is dedicated to the 52nd birthday celebration of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. The 28th of May this year would be Dr. Sunday's 52nd birthday. And right from the first day of May, we've been having a series of interviews, presentations of different people, dynamic speakers who have spoken on different sides and different aspects of Dr. Sunday. And today would not be any way different. But as you join us, I would like to welcome you. Thank you for being with us. As you join, please kindly share this video on your timeline. If you're watching us on Facebook, right under your video, there is a share button there that you could click and you could share this video on your timeline. And also, you could share this video to the groups that you belong to. And I think it would be great if you could suggest this video to your friends or your family members. Perhaps they might find one or two lessons to learn from today's program. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you sure also can share this YouTube link to different social media platforms that you belong to. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining once again. I would quickly like to make some announcements before we get into today's discussion. Well, we started on the 1st of May, and today being the 15th of May, we are almost at the middle of this journey, celebrating Dr. Sunday and learning from his life. We started by announcing that Dr. Sunday is giving his books at a discounted rate for this month of May. So if you're watching us and you would like to partake in this book promo, it would be great for you to write to DSA's office at DSA'sbooks@gmail.com. So if you write to DSA'sbooks@gmail.com, you'll be able to make an order for your books, and the office will get back to you at the time needed. I have some books here with me, and I would like to announce them. I will be starting with some of Dr. Sunday's old books. The books he has written for some time now. So the first book here is titled The Restorers of the Earth. The Restorers of the Earth. Well, this book definitely, it talks about the role of Christians. You know, the Bible has said that we are the salt of the earth, we are the light of the world. But then, if we don't know how to restore the earth, it will be difficult for us to do. So the title of this book is The Restorers of the Earth. The Restorers of the Earth. So please do well to write to us if you would like to get this book. The next book here is titled Heavenly Atmosphere in the Family. Heavenly Atmosphere in the Family. This is a book that would give an annotated and a full description of how to experience the kingdom of God in your marriage, in your family. And that's the title of the book here, An Heavenly Atmosphere in the Family. So how do you create a heavenly atmosphere in your family? How do you build that atmosphere in your family? That's what you get with these books. And I must say that some of these old books, you might not be able to get them on Amazon because they are old books anyways, but you could get them by writing to the office here at DSA'sbooks@gmail.com. I would go to more recent books. The title of this book is quite interesting. It is titled Stop Looking for a Job. Joblessness is a blessing. Can you believe that? Can you believe? Imagine Dr. Sunday is saying, stop looking for a job. Come on. That's the whole essence of us going to school. We go to school to look for a job. And if you're jobless, you are looking for a job. As a matter of fact, you even consider yourself cursed if you finished and completed your schooling and you didn't get a job. But here, Dr. Sunday is saying, hey, stop looking for a job. And he's now telling you and I that if you're jobless, then count yourself to be blessed. Wow. So I think it will be interesting to know what exactly is this man saying, because it's apparent that what he's saying is totally different and opposite from what we all have been made to believe. So it will be great for you to get more content in this book. The title of the book again is Stop Looking for a Job. And joblessness is a blessing. All right. So I'll go to the next book right now, and it is titled Stop, or it says, do not spend the money you do not have. Do not spend the money you do not have to buy what you do not need to impress people who do not care. I think the title says it all. Do not spend the money that you do not have to buy what you do not need to impress people who do not care. Well, get this book and gain an understanding of what Dr. Sunday is trying to pass across. The second to the last book I'll be announcing today is this book, The Team Building Skills of Jesus. This is one amazing book, especially if you're someone who you intend to work with people, to build a team. How do you choose your team? What principles do you need to apply in building a strong team to achieve your purpose and your goals? Well, this book describes all of the skills that Jesus applied in building his team that has made so much impact that we're still feeling their impact even till today. So that is the book I'm announcing, The Team Building Skills of Jesus. And lastly, one of my favorite books, something I'm still working on big time, it is the book titled Excellence, Your Key to Elevation. Excellence, your key to elevation. You know, we've had people come to talk about Dr. Sunday and his rules, his values, and many people talk about Dr. Sunday being a man of excellence, a maximalist, someone who is a man of quality, is always doing everything to the best way possible that he can. And he has written this book titled Excellence, Your Key to Elevation. So if you want to learn how to develop the virtue and the virtue of excellence, it would be great to get this book. And not just these books I've announced, but all of Dr. Sunday's books are going on a discounted rates for this month of May. So you could write to the office at dsasbooks@gmail.com for you to get these books. And also, after today's presentation, we're going to be offering the opportunity to everyone who is listening to us who would like to call in to contribute their thoughts, to contribute their ideas or their opinions, or if you have an impression in your heart that you would like to share, it would be great to hear from you. So you could go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, and inform us there that you would like to contribute to the discussion. And when our speaker today is done, we would definitely call you. All right. So at this point, today's topic is DSA's greatest principles. And we are having Chris R., who will be taking us on a journey on DSA's greatest principle. It is with much joy and pleasure I would like to welcome my brother, friend, Christian R., as he takes us on today's journey. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, Dr. Anu. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I've heard your voice. Like, I think you were giving some, okay, I'll be showing up very soon. So so that you can get used to my voice, okay? Yeah. You called yesterday, I think you called the day before also. Well, thank you for your contributions that you gave even before your program. it would be great if you can move forward so that
Okay.
we reduce the space above your head. All right. So, Mr. Chris, I think it would be great for you to introduce yourself. Let's not assume that everybody knows you, because it might be that we have some people who would be streaming this program for the first time. They'll be watching us for the first time, and they might not have seen you before. They might not know who you are. They might not know your connection with Dr. Sunday. So if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself and just share with us a little, a brief history of yourself and Dr. Sunday Adelaja?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Anu. I want to use this opportunity to say, express my gratitude, first and foremost, for the opportunity to honor such a great man as Dr. Sunday. It's indeed an honor for me, and an opportunity which I don't take lightly. So thank you for that. Yeah, so for me, basically, my name is Chris. A lot of people know me as Chris Al, but my full names are Christian Aluya. I'm a Nigerian, but based in London, UK. And let me give a little bit of a history how I came in contact with DSA and how the journey began from there. I think it started in 2017. Yeah, it was in 2017. Basically, before then, I'd actually seen a very brief interview that he had. I think that was in TBN, but I kind of like brushed it aside. That was way back, maybe 2012 or 2013, around then. But I just brushed it aside because it wasn't, the Nigerian preachers weren't kind of like interesting to me, apart from the person I was following then. And in 2015 again, I saw a clip he did about the death of Miles Morale. I think that was where it actually started catching my interest, because Miles Morale was somebody I was following very closely. He was like a remote a mentor by proxy, I'll call it, to me. So I read a lot of his books and all that. So when he died, I was really in deep shock and deep sorrow, just kind of like mourning his death. But I was flipping across the television one day, the YouTube channel, and I came across a video of a man talking about the death of Miles Morale. I listened briefly, but I was like, what does he have to say? And I just kind of like, I said, what I said was, when he was alive, I never saw you, kind of like, is it now that he's dead, he's talking about that, what do you have to say? So I just kind of like brushed it. I didn't even connect the fact that it was the same person I saw on TBN the other day. But in 2017, I was in church one day, funny enough, and somebody shared a clip. It was like this 5 minutes illustrative video about tithe. His picture was there, but it was only his voice. So the person said, have I seen something like this? He gave it to me, I played it. I was like, wow, so who is this man? So he now said, okay, that he has some other video that he was going to send to me. So I said, okay, I went back home and he forwarded some of Pastor Sunday's Facebook messages, but it wasn't the live message. So I listened. I think it was when he was teaching about either paganism or syncretism. So I listened to it. I was like, wow. I said, this guy must be very bold to be saying what he was saying.
Yeah.
So to long story short, I just decided to follow up the Facebook messages. But every time I come back from work, I will sit down and I'll be like going through Facebook looking for the message. I never knew it was a daily thing that was live. But in one of the show, Pastor Sunday now mentioned that we are always here every day. That if you want to follow, just click on the follow button and all that. So this thing is daily. So quickly, I just went there and I clicked or hit on the follow button, and I actually started getting the notification every time it came online. And that was towards late September, October. But as I started listening to Pastor Sunday, honestly speaking, something inside of me just started changing. And after about a week of listening to him on a daily basis, I sat down one day and I had to advise myself, because I had to do a lot of self-analysis about my going to church, what benefit have I derived, what is my life all about, what impact have I made, going by what I heard. So I had to advise myself, and I just advised myself. I said, Chris, I think it's time. You're done. So I just made up my decision right there and there to stop going to church. Not because I didn't want to go to church, but because I didn't see any relevance. Neither did I see any added value that going to church did for me. So that was it. So, but I just continued. Cut a long story short again, in December, I decided to start reading his book. Why? Because a lot of people call into the show, oh, Dr. Sunday, I read your book. It was so amazing. I've never read. I was like telling myself, is it not the same man I am listening to every day? What else does he want to write in a book?
In his book,
you understand? So, but people started calling and just giving different suggestions of different books. So I told myself, I said, okay, let me even give it a try. Let me read one of his books and see, because I'm a book lover. I like reading books. So I went to Amazon, and the first thing that hit me was the number of books that have been authored by the guy. I was like, is this guy Nigerian? Because I've never seen a Nigerian wrote so many books. So I was going through, and it was like a dilemma for me, because it was so confusing which book to pick, because all the topics were just kind of like jumping out. I didn't know which book to pick. So that day I didn't buy any book. So the next day, luckily somebody came and recommended the book, Create Your Own Net Worth. So I just said, okay, no, let me just start with that book. So I went and I bought the book on Amazon Kindle, and I started reading. My brother,
wow.
I was dazed. I mean, literally, I was dazed. When I took that book, the first 2 pages I read, what I did, that was what actually informed my decision to come to Ukraine.
For the book, History Makers Training.
Yeah, HMT, History Makers Training. Because I've been hearing people talk about it, but I really didn't know what it was. I was even asking, what's HMT? But when I took that book and I read the first 2 pages, I mean, just literally the first 2 pages, what I did was I just took the book, I kept it down. I got up, came to my computer. I said, if I don't register for HMT, I will not continue with that book.
Wow.
So I went there, I started searching, and I did my registration and everything. And that's how the journey began. And I decided to come to HMT, and honestly speaking, I wasn't disappointed at all. I wasn't disappointed.
I'm just thinking about, just what you've said, is interesting how your journey started with Dr. Sunday, because you started by listening to his videos online. And that is the stage where many people are right now. All they do is that they listen to Dr. Sunday. So that was where you were. And you said that you thought, well, I'm already listening to his teachings, so what more can I get from his books? And I guess there are many people like you too, that, okay, yes, I follow his daily teachings, I listen to him every day, he comes live, I watch him. Sometimes I go to YouTube and I watch 1 or 2 of his videos. I think I know him. I think I'm following him. And then, until you tested and attempted to read the book, then you were like, oh, just from the first 2 pages, it was a different ball game for you.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining people who have not even read Dr. Sunday's books, or people who think that, well, what can I get from his books? I mean, what is there in the books?
Yeah.
I think it's okay for me to listen to him. But you went from listening to his videos to reading his books.
Yeah.
But then you didn't even stop there. You're an Oliver Twist, oh. Bro, Chris. So you didn't even stop there. You didn't even finish the book.
Yeah.
You said, no, this History Makers Training, I must come. And you did come. And I remember that first time you came and you said, I I would always come. As long as DSA is doing it in Ukraine, I would keep coming for History Makers training. And you know, interestingly, you've kept to your word thus far. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's commendable. And I just I'm saying that just to give maybe to use you as a model, and for people to maybe borrow a leaf from that short history you've given, that is not enough just to listen to the audios or to the videos, but it's another level when you begin to read his books, so people can understand the reason why we advertise these books. That is not for the money, because many people don't know the treasures that are in this book. There are enough treasures in the YouTube channel, one must agree to that, but it's another level when you begin to read his books. You understand?
I even, if I may come in, sorry, I even said something. I think I wrote it, I sent it as a message to DS. I can't remember now. That I was reading his book and I said, even I think his book is even better than the man. Wow. His book is even better than the teaching.
Because it's very detailed, you know, those books.
Yeah, very detailed, very meticulous, it's just like, and one other thing that really caught my attention with DSA is the manner and way with which he presents his messages, both spoken and written. So simple, so clear, so direct, so straight to the point. And it made it so easy for me because I think in pictures, right? And when I was reading his book, it had so many stories that was kind of like hitting the nail on the head. Like some of the books I've read, I may not remember everything in the book, but I can tell you the stories and I can tell you the meaning and the message that the story was actually portraying. So that for me, and I also discovered that one thing that put me off initially, and which put a lot of people off, was his accent. Coming from this Nigerian mentality, where you go to churches where pastors tend to like want to, you know, they call it efficy in the Nigeria, when they packaging, you tend to like, okay, you get used to them. But when you now come and you now hear a man who is supposed to be overseas and he's just speaking, you tend to want to like,
careful.
Yeah, you tend to want to. Is it okay now?
Yeah, we're good.
So you tend to be easy, like maybe put off. Yeah. But that almost got me. But I said to myself, no, I said, this man has been in Russia, has been in Ukraine. And I know Ukrainians don't speak English. And he's been there for like almost 30 years. Apparently, even if he knew how to speak English, by now, it would be so, you understand? So that didn't bother me at all. But for me, and I really want to encourage everybody, his book was what did it for me.
Wow.
Because before I came to Ukraine, let me just close my introduction here. I went online to do my research to know who this man is.
Yes.
I saw all sorts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. All sorts was there. But that still didn't stop me, because I told myself, I said, a man that will have such a wisdom to put in this book, and this is just one of his books, and he has hundreds. I said, he's a man you don't toy with. And I told myself that I wasn't privileged to meet my Smuro, even though I planned everything possible to do. I said, I cannot make the same mistake twice. And I told myself, I must see him flesh and blood. And that's when I decided that Ukraine, here I come.
Amazing. Yeah. You know, speaking on books, I would like you to go, or I would like us to go to your presentation. But speaking on books, I have been announcing the latest book that Dr. Sunday has published. I would like that book to be shown, please. The book is titled How to Build a Friendly Relationship with Your Child. Can we see that book, please? Tim, can we see the book? How to Build Friendly Relationship with Your Child. You know, I don't know if people are hearing or they are seeing what you just described about the importance of getting this kind of books and getting Dr. Sunday's books. But I want to just announce once again that this book, How to Build a Friendly Relationship with Your Child, is a book that every parent I would advise to get, even if you already have children, or you have a friend who has kids. This book is a must get. And this book right now is on pre-order, and this season for pre-order is limited for you to just get this book for $3.99. So I want to just reach out to every parent out there. Please do well to get this book. I mean, just read it. Just like what Bro Chris was saying, until you read it, you will not know exactly what is inside for you. So please do well to get this book, How to Build a Friendly Relationship with Your Child. All right. So, Bro Chris.
Yes, sir.
We are back to you now. You're speaking on DSA's greatest principles, and we are hungry. We are looking forward to learning from your presentation today. So over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. I think we can go to the first slide. Just start with the slide.
All right. Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So I will be talking today on the greatest principles of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Now, before I actually start my presentation, I just wanted to say that I'll be giving the presentation based on the few things that I know about Dr. Sunday, because I was just joking to myself. I was like, after yesterday's presentation from Pastor Derek, who has known Pastor Sunday for like 13, I'll be how many years, I was asking myself, what else do I have to say? But basically, for the few years that I've known Pastor Sunday and with my few encounters with him, I will just be sharing my own opinion of what I believe or what I think that the core principles of Dr. Sunday is. Can we go to the next slide, please? No, not okay. Yeah, the next one, the disclaimer. Yeah. Okay. So basically, like I said, right, I don't claim to like the principles I'm sharing. Number one, they are not in any order, and number two, it's my own assertion and my own understanding. They might not be what DSA claims to be his greatest, but I'm speaking from my own perspective, from a little bit of observation that I've done, and with my interaction with him. This was a very, very, will I use the word difficult presentation to make, because I just didn't know where to start from. There are so many things that one can put together. So many, because DSA is a multifaceted man, if you really think about it. So I just want to clear that from before I move on. So let's go to the very first principle. Yeah. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So before I move on to the first slide, which is the slide on love, the first principle, I just wanted to give a brief definition of what principle is, because I want to do it because a lot of people will hear the word principle, but might not really understand what a principle is. So for the benefit of everybody hearing, I just want to clear that. So what is a principle, for example? If you take the dictionary definition of principle, you discover that it says principle, right, is a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation for a belief or for a system of belief or behavior or for a chain of reasoning. Now, from this definition, you can see that principle is fundamental. It says it's a fundamental truth, and it serves as the foundation. So what we'll be looking at today are actually things that I consider to be the core truth, the core belief system that Dr. Sunday subscribes to, and that guides and inform his behavior or his reasoning pattern. So those are some of the things that I'll be looking at today, because those are fundamental and foundational, will I use the word values or truths that he believes in and he lives by. So if we move to the very first slide, the first principle, which is the principle, I've typed the principle of love. Now, what does Dr. Sunday has to do with love? Now, we know that if you know Dr. Sunday, you will know that Dr. Sunday is somebody that is driven by love. Everything about Dr. Sunday is love. And just from the ministry of Dr. Sunday in Ukraine, just from the ministry of Dr. Sunday in Ukraine, you can see that his ministry, the foundation of his ministry, is built on love. And that is why he was able to reach out to the down and the out, to the outcast, to the addicts, to people that the society has actually rejected completely. It is only a man of love that can actually do such a thing. You cannot build a ministry such as Pastor Sunday has built without love. You can't build a ministry without love. There is a video. I don't know. It's like the slide is not showing very well in the presentation.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pictures there, but that I felt a lot of people should see, but I don't know, it's not showing.
Okay.
I
think that would be a technical issue. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I said to myself, I said, look, just look at the life of Pastor Sunday. I said it will only take a man who truly loved God to accommodate the down and the out in the society. It will only take a man who loved God to stay in a place where he's insulted, where he's abused, where he's ridiculed publicly. There was a video I saw where a banana was thrown at him. And even in the midst of that, Dr. Sunday still expressed love. Only a man that is filled with love can do such a thing. And for myself, I say it will take a man who is full of love to even challenge the status quo that we see in Christianity today. Dr. Sunday, for me, is a man that is completely eaten up, driven up, and consumed by love. So I think that there's a video on the slide. Yeah, I would like us to play.
Okay. All right. Let's have the video. That's checklist, right? Yeah. Okay, let's have it.
When God is your first love, that means you strive, first of all, to know Him. You love Him so much, you want to know Him. That's your first priority. When God is your first love, your primary objective, one of your paramount objectives, is to get to know Him and get to understand Him. When God is your first love, you want to know, understand Him, you want to love Him. And so everything you do, therefore, comes out of that love that you have for Him. So if you are going to university, you want to go and study what He wants you to study. So His will becomes your command. His will becomes your priority. So when God is your first love, you want to live for His will. You want to find out, you don't want to make any step without making Him guide you. You don't want to make your own plans. You want to find out what are His own plans, and you want to live in accordance to those plans. You want to find out his purpose for your life. You want to find out what he created you for. You want to find out his agenda. And you want to now begin to live for that agenda. That is, and you want to do it with all your pleasure, with all the joy in life. That means you are living according to the pattern that God has made for you even before you came to this world. So when God is your first love, the reason you want to go to university is because you have discovered that he wants you to become so and so, and you want to go and study and be the best in that field, so that you'll be able to glorify him the best, so that you'll be able to love him the most, so that you'll be able to express yourself to him the best you could, so that you could be the best in that area that could only express God that way. That's why you go to university. You don't just go to university, but most of us, what do? We want to go to university to get a good job. So you are the Lord of your life. Job and income is your Lord. So God is not your number one. So your priority is being dictated by your greed. Your priority is being dictated by your ego, by your selfishness. Your priority is being dictated by your desire to make it. Your priority is being dictated by your survival instinct, instead of your priority to be dictated by the fact that the Father has revealed to you that you are supposed to be so and so. And because you know that you are supposed to be so and so, that is why he sent you to this world, and that's why you are supposed to glorify him. You go to university to study in that line, so that you will be able to, glorify him the best possible, in the best possible way. You'll be able to live according to pattern. When God is your first love, you know exactly why you are studying hard. You know exactly why you are not going to discotheque, why you are not messing around when all other people are messing around. You know exactly why you are doing what you are doing. You know exactly why you are, depriving yourself of what other people are doing. When you want to go and make money, you know, because, okay, I need to become a millionaire or a billionaire because I'm supposed to be this. This is the instruction of God for my life. I want to, and being a millionaire, God doesn't need to tell you to go and be a millionaire. But if you know that whatever you want to become, you need money there, then that's why you are saying, okay, I need to become a millionaire to be able to do what God wants me to do. That's so your business therefore has a purpose. The money you are making therefore has a purpose. So you are putting extra energy into doing that business where you are making and going through such a sacrifice that other human beings are not willing to go through because they don't have a purpose for it. But you have a purpose for it. So when God is your first love, you are addicted to everything you do. You are the best. You strive to be the best in everything you do because you know why. You know why you are doing everything. Everything is explainable. So when you want to go and get a wife or a husband, you don't just want to marry because you want to just meet your own sexual or some human needs. It's because you know that there is something that God wants to do through you, and there is a reason and a purpose for that marriage, and you want to use that marriage to love him more and to use that marriage as a means to even glorify him and know him better and all that. So you have an agenda for that marriage. You have an agenda for those children. You have an agenda for what you want to do, not just because that's what everybody is doing in the society, not just because that's what the relatives are asking for. No. If you are living like that, then God is not your priority. Then God is not your first love. Your first love is fear of man. Your first love is your self-image. Your first love is your reputation. Your first love is your relatives and what everybody will say. Your first love is public opinion and love for self. It's not God. So
we're listening to you, sir.
To me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry, the video was playing. So yeah, from the video you can see the passion with which Dr. Sunday was talking about love. Now, you will hardly find a preacher who will preach on love with such passion. Now, it only takes a man who is truly filled in his heart with the love for God. And there's this one of DSA's most popular quotes: you cannot love God without loving people. I think that just sums it up.
Beautiful.
That just sums it up for all. You cannot love God without loving people. Not to take much of our time, let's move on to the next slide. The next principle, I believe, is one of Dr. Sunday's core principle, is the principle of faith. And I think I'll let the video also do the talking, but a couple of things I just wanted to mention here is I have never heard a man preach on faith the way Dr. Sunday preached on faith. I used to think I was in a church where they used to call the pastor or the bishop there the father of faith in Nigeria, because his message was just all about faith, 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 faith. Even the vision he said God gave to him was to liberate people through the preaching of the word of faith. But when I heard Pastor Sunday preach on faith, my God, I'd never seen it from that perspective. And the beauty of it was that it was so clear, so easy to understand, but yet so difficult to accept. Because he talked of two kinds of faith: faith in God and faith in yourself. And when he mentioned that you don't need God to be successful on earth, and he made another comment that to rule on earth, you need more faith in self than faith in God. That just blew me away. It was a strange concept for me, but you see, the more I follow DSA, the more I study him, the more I read his material, the more it makes sense. It makes so much sense what he's teaching about. And I think the story that Pastor Derek gave yesterday just summed it up for me, basically. Even though I have not experienced that part of Dr. Sunday, but I know from what he's been saying, he's a man that doesn't just preach faith, but he lives it. And that, for me, just summed it up. So there's a quick video on faith that I want people to listen to. So, and let's hear it from the horse's mouth. About faith, yeah.
Okay, so the next video on faith. Let's have the video on faith. All right, so we'll be watching the video prepared by Chris Al on the principle of faith that Dr. Sunday lives by. The principle of faith. All right, I guess the video is ready now. So we're going to watch the video and hear what Dr. Sunday has to say on the subject of faith. All right.
I've been living in Europe for 30 years, and I only lived in Africa for 19 years of my life. But in Europe, I've been living for 30 years, and now I want to go back to Africa. I don't even know the language anymore. I'm from Yoruba, but I forgot it, and I've forgotten what Africa looks like. But I don't care what difficulties people are talking about. I don't care how difficult it is. I know that I've been prepared for 30 years. When I go to Nigeria, you will say Nigeria will be changed and turned upside down. Not because people from all over. There are people from the Caribbean going back with me. I'm going to take 2,000 people from all over the world to Nigeria to restore Nigeria. If you are really a man of faith, that is a weapon right there. A believer is an asset to any society. A believer is an asset to any country. You are armed. You are loaded by God. You are equipped to make a difference. When God instructed me to go back to Nigeria, He gave me 25 points. Concrete assignment. And He said, these are the things you are supposed to go there to do.
I'm kind of, maybe I've taken Jesus too seriously. If He says it's possible that I should embark on the job, I go and I believe Him it's possible. And I don't care what the world thinks. I just kind of take Him serious. I just kind of believe Him all the way.
To rule on earth, you need more faith in self than in God. Because if you see somebody like Pastor Sunday, who has done what not every human being has done, who has done what only few, or if maybe no human being has done in some cases, what Pastor Sunday has done, it is because he knows something that ordinary men don't know. You know, what makes people different is because of what they know. And if you are like ordinary people, ordinary person, and you are doing ordinary things, it's because you know the same thing all other people know. That's why you are not different from other people. If you know the same thing that other people know, it means you are just going to be like others, or you are going to have the same lifestyle or the same level of achievement, you know, considerably like other people. But for you to achieve and attain some results that no human being has attained, for you to have the kind of result that other people cannot attain, you must have an understanding that other people don't have. Unfortunately, religion has made us to emphasize and to overemphasize the role of God in the success of humans on the earth. But I'm very sorry, it is not true. You don't need God to be successful on the earth. That is even much more harder than I've said now. But you need faith in God to go to heaven. You might be successful on the earth without faith in God, and you can be successful on the earth without faith in God. But then you will not be able to go to heaven, because faith in God is a necessity for you to go to heaven. But faith in God is not a compulsory factor. It's not a necessity for you to be successful on the earth. If faith in God had been a necessity for you to be successful on the earth, why is it that the Chinese, who are mostly communists and atheists, are successful and are building the second largest economy in the world? Why is it that the Muslims in Middle East, some of them believe in Allah, and some of you also think that Allah is not even the right God. Some of them believe in Islam, and they don't believe in Jesus. They don't read the Bible. They don't pray to Jesus. They pray to Allah, and they are more successful than a lot of Christian churches. Why is it is faith in God that is needed for success? Why is it that Europe today that doesn't even recognize God anymore? Most people in Europe now are atheists and agnostics, and people who are not religious at all. Why is it that they are more successful on the earth than people who believe in God? You don't need to have faith in God to be successful on the earth. Only people who have faith in themselves rule on earth. Only people who have faith in themselves reign on earth. For you to rule and reign on earth, you need more faith in yourself than in God. Have you ever heard the name Bill Gates? Bill Gates is the richest man on the earth. Bill Gates is not just the richest man on the earth. Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft. Do you think that it was because of his faith in God that he was able to do that? He doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe in God. And it's not because he was praying and he's the greatest prayer warrior that he has become the richest man on earth. This man have become who they are, not because they go to church every day or every Sunday or sleep in church, but they work hard with an incredible faith, with an incredible amount of self-belief and faith in themselves. That is the way God has created the world to function. You don't need faith in God. You don't need to believe in God to be successful on the earth. So all those teachings that those preachers are manipulating you and using God as if God is the way, is the only way, and that is only when you believe in God you can make it in life, is, there is some truth to that, but it's not compulsory. For you to be successful on the earth, you don't need God. And it's not because God is not necessary, because even if you are successful on the earth, you and die, and you didn't receive God, you will still go to hell anyway. So don't be so religious. They have gone to another extreme, but we Christians too have gone to another extreme. We have gone to the extreme of thinking that we cannot do anything without God. We have gone to the extreme to think that we cannot do anything without prayer. Everyone that is listening to me today, do you have light in your room? Of course you have light. That light was made by a man that is called Thomas Edison. Do you know, unfortunately, he is an atheist. They are some of the greatest minds of our generation. What is common between all of them? What is common between all of them is their faith. The first secret is that there is a law. This whole earth has been created by God in such a way that everything will function perfectly. When God finished creating the earth, he said it is good. Everything that God has created is good. People who do exploits on earth have one thing in common. They have incredible faith and belief in themselves. But they might not have any faith in God, but they must have faith in themselves. When it comes to the earth, this is a precondition for you to rule and reign and for you to become anything. But when it comes to heaven, you don't need faith in yourself, you need faith in God. Once you have faith in God, that's how you go to heaven. And that's how you live and function in heaven. But for you to have to live and function on the earth, you don't need faith in God.
So you'll be heard. Okay, so I think we're good now. We can hear you.
Okay, so I was saying that that was a very good video, long video, but I felt the need to actually play the video simply because it's one of the challenges that we have as believers in Nigeria today. We depend so much on God and neglect the assignment that God has given us, even though we know that it is our responsibility to do that. So, and to wrap it up on faith, Pastor Sundays like to say something. He says that, don't tell me you have faith if you don't have a product to show for it. So the only evidence of your faith is a product. So show me your product, then I will know that you have faith. So it's so amazing because you cannot take it away from Pastor Sunday, because like I said, it is only a man with such his faith that can survive the terrain in Ukraine that he has done. It will only take faith in God, but also faith in himself and in his ability, God-given ability to accomplish what Pastor Sunday has accomplished. So without further ado, let's move to the next slide. The next principle that I'll be talking about is the principle of truth. We don't need to spend so much time on this on this one, and I think I'll skip the video on this one.
Okay.
Because if you have been following Pastor Sunday, you will know that there's one word that comes out of Pastor Sunday's mouth every single day, and that is the word truth. And this is a man that have said that I am ready to die for the truth. And the only reason why he is taking on the project that he's taking on right now is because of his love, because of his passion for truth. Pastor Sunday is somebody that is consumed from top to bottom, from head to toe with the truth. Not to take much of our time, I just want to encourage our listeners, if you really want to know Pastor Sunday's passion for the truth, just go to YouTube and look for series 18. It's on the slide, the Truth series. Just sit down and listen to the Truth series for you to have an understanding of the level of passion that Pastor Sunday or Dr. Sunday has for the truth. That's the first time that I discovered where he taught a message on the 5 levels of truth. I've never heard it from any preacher anywhere in the world. And trust me, I've followed a lot of preachers, but I've never heard it. But I just want you to take your time, go and listen to that message, the Truth series, and you understand the passion that Dr. Sunday has for truth. And it's a testament, the fact that the number of lives that have been transformed through his messages in Ukraine, and the number of lives that are actually being transformed right now in the continent of Africa, just by the message of truth that Pastor Sunday teaches. We have had so many pastors in the past. There are so many pastors and so many bishops still resident in Nigeria. So you ask yourself, why are things not changing? And it only took Pastor Sunday to come on the scene, and in less than 3 years, the whole place is turning upside down, just like what the Bible talked about in the book of Acts, that these are the people that have turned the world upside down. So that's to tell you that the message that Pastor Sunday carries is a message of truth. And this is a man who lives by the truth, who breathes the truth, who is consumed by the truth. So that is one other principle that I know that Pastor Sunday lives by. He lives by the truth. Everything he talks about is about the truth. I wouldn't want to waste most of our time.
Because these things, is good that we show your videos, because there are many of the videos that people have played during this series that people are like, so this video is even online. You understand? So I think it would be a great idea for us to watch your videos that you have prepared.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So that people can at least hear that this is Dr. Sunday, to at least give an explanation to why Dr. Sunday does what he does. You're speaking on truth. Yeah. And people are surprised. Why would Dr. Sunday disrespect our culture?
Yeah.
We don't speak to we don't correct elders in public. And Dr. Sunday is saying, hey, between culture and truth, my loyalty is not to culture. My loyalty is not to your opinion.
Exactly.
My loyalty is to truth. So I think it would be good if we watch those videos and hear what Dr. Sunday has to say.
Okay. I think what I will do is I'll just let some of these videos speak for themselves. Yeah. Just to know that, because we are talking about the principles of Dr. Sunday.
Yeah.
And he's the one who has these principles. So it's better for people to even hear that and see that he's a man that lives by these principles. So you can go ahead and show it.
Okay, so let's have the truth video. Let's hear what.
Hello everybody, we continue to talk about the truth today and the power of the truth. You see, the truth is so powerful that it's unfortunate that so many people are ashamed to stand for the truth in their daily lives, and especially in the society, especially when it comes to the public opinion, because the society we live in these days are so much opposing to the standards of the truth that most of the time a lot of people are ashamed of truth, and they're ashamed of proclaiming the truth in public, and they're ashamed of standing for the truth when it's not popular. But you see, that's a mistake, because the truth is so powerful that it's worth standing for. The truth is worth fighting for. The truth is worth dying for. The truth is worth losing anything for, because eventually the truth knows how to reward, and the truth knows how to vindicate sooner or later. So in the long run, the truth will vindicate you. And the only reason why the society is not being changed to the better is because many people who have the truth compromise the truth. Because many people who possess the truth are silent most of the time about the truth. But you see, the truth, if it's kept hidden, or if one is not talking about it, or if one is compromising the truth is incapacitated. The truth cannot help you, because then if you compromise the truth, it means evil reigns at that time. The reason why Jesus calls his disciples and all of us the light of the world is because we are supposed to defeat darkness. And the only way a believer could defeat the darkness of their society is by the power of the truth. Only through the truth we could be the light of the world. And only by the truth we could be the salt of the earth. So we are called the salt of the earth to bring meaning to life, and to bring taste to life, to the life of people around us. And the only way we could do that is by standing for the truth, defending the truth, proclaiming the truth, and establishing the truth no matter what that will cost us. Eventually, the truth will never let us down. Even people who refuse to agree with us, or who are arguing with us, they know in their heart that we speak the truth, and the truth will eventually vindicate you. God bless. I'm going to be talking about truth all this week and next week. The power and force of truth. The power and force of truth. The power and force of truth. What do you know about the truth? What do we all know about the truth? It is easy to say truth. Oh, truth is just to tell what is truth. What is the right thing to do, or what is the right thing to say. Then if we're a Christian, then you could say, okay, Jesus is the truth. God is the truth. Is that all there is to truth? Is there all there is to truth? And there are some things that we need to know and discover about truth. Are we sure we know how powerful and how forceful truth is? I think this is one of the greatest deficiencies of our age and of our world. We know nothing about the truth. The concept of the truth is strange to us. For Christians, the only thing they know about the truth is you shall know the truth, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. That's the only thing we seem to know about the truth if we are Christians. Or Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. We don't know much about the truth. Is that all there is to be known and to be discovered about the truth? Let me tell you something about this method that I'm going to use to teach us the truth this week and the following weeks to come. You see, some people accuse me of not preaching the gospel because I don't quote the Bible all the time. And some people say, when they listen to my old messages, when I'm just, quoting the Bible, yeah, that is good. But now, Pastor Sunday is just giving human wisdom. They don't know that some of these things that they call human wisdom, it is the wisdom of God that is being disseminated and dissipated across the world in over thousands and thousands of years, that has been distributed and has been revealed to thousands of men. Because if you are just waiting for you to get your own revelation fresh from the Bible all by yourself, you will have to live for thousands of years for you to even get to know some of these things that have already been revealed to many people over the ages. And one thing with God is, He will not begin to reveal to you afresh the things that He had already revealed to people before you. He expects you to use your wisdom, to use your mind, and go out to look for and search for the revealed truth that are already near you on the earth. That is the sole reason why God told the rich man. You remember the story of the rich and Lazarus? That the rich man was asking Jesus, was asking Abraham, that Abraham should send Lazarus back to the earth so that Lazarus will warn his relatives and his family members about what he has seen in heaven, so that they will not come to the horrible place where the rich man himself is. And then Abraham answered him and said, well, I'm sorry. On earth, where your relatives and family members are, you have Moses, you have the preachers and the prophets. If they cannot receive those messengers of God, those prophets of God that are already on earth right now, even if somebody comes from heaven to bring them the same gospel, they will still not receive it. What is the wisdom here that Jesus is trying to teach us in that story that he was telling us? The wisdom is this: if the revelation, the wisdom has already been released from heaven to the earth, if God has already released wisdom, people have caught it in different places. So if you are on earth now, and now you are trying to say, well, I will not go and learn from another person, I will go to God direct. God knows that is pride, and God will not even pay attention to such a person, because the wisdom you are looking for is already available with you on the earth. Go look for it. That's why in Proverbs, it now tells us that wisdom is accessible to all. Wisdom is crying out. You go look for it. You go search for it. So there are a lot of wisdom that God has already, in fact, even Solomon told us there is nothing new under the sun.
Okay. Mr. DSA, I think the video continues, but I think that first part already communicates it.
Yeah. And for me, that the message, he covered everything that anybody needs to know. But one thing I want to point out, because we are talking about his principle now, if you know Dr. Sunday, you discover that he's somebody that, despite his weaknesses, right, despite his achievements, DSA is still open to admit his weaknesses. Yeah. He's a man that opened himself to scrutiny, to questioning, to everything. That is a man of truth that you can find there. So I wouldn't want to bore us with a lot of stuff here, but I think we can move on to the next principle.
Okay.
The next principle, which is on the next slide, is the principle of self-education. This one is something that is very, very heavy with DSA. I think there's one of the HMT that he taught, and he was talking on developing self, and he was saying that he considers this one of the most important thing that anybody can ever engage in life, self-development. So looking at DSA, you will know that you don't need to be told that DSA is a man that has recreated himself. He has said it in some of his videos, that the DSA you see today is not the DSA that used to be 5 years ago, or it used to be 10 years ago. And even Pastor Derek mentioned it yesterday, that every time you meet DSA, even with all the knowledge that he has, DSA is always constantly growing. This is a man that said he commits 6 hours to self-education when he's in solitude, but on every other day, he commits 3 hours every single day. And I keep asking myself, with all the knowledge that he already has, he still finds time to invest and to educate himself. So this is one principle that I know that DSA lives by. Yeah. In one of his articles, he gave an example. He said, if God had an idea to give, right, to somebody on earth, and God looks at a child of God born again, spirit-filled, speaking in tongue, but his mind is not developed, right, to actually conceptualize the idea that is given to him. And God looks around, and the only person God can find is an atheist who doesn't even believe in God, but his mind is developed. He said because God's will on earth must be done, God will bypass the believer and go to an atheist. And that's why today, most of the inventions, most of the technology we see today, they are coming through the hands of people whose mind are developed, even though they are not believers. So this is one core principle that if you're close to DSA, DSA hammers on development. Develop yourself. Invest in yourself. Yeah. So that's one core principle. There are a lot of things I can say, but I'm very watchful of our time. I don't know if you want us to play the video or if we can skip the video and
yeah, we'll play the video and we'll just get the most important part of the video.
Yeah, get the most part and just you can cut. Yeah. So you can play the video.
Right.
Now listen to me. You will be making a huge mistake to begin to think that that is all to you that we are saying right now. It will be a huge mistake for you to be thinking that is you, that is all to you. If you had been brought up in another environment as well, the same blood will still have been in you, the same skin on you, the same hair on you, the same name, the same parents, but because you were brought up in a different environment, we will have been seeing a different you. But it will still be you, but a different you. Now, what does that tell us? That is telling us that anything we see right now, or anyone we are looking at, the way we are seeing you, is not really you yet. It is only you that you have come to settle with. It is only the you that you have come to agree or accept. But when we are talking about adding value to yourself and working on yourself, the goal of working on yourself is to discover the real you. The goal is to discover the ultimate self. The goal is to discover the ultimate self. And before you could discover the ultimate self, we need evaluation. Self-evaluation is necessary for us to discover you. Hello, everybody. I want to tell you today, most of you are yet to be discovered. You yourself don't even know you yet. You yourself have not even discovered yourself yet. I had to discover myself one day like that. It was about maybe over 20 years ago that I needed to stop and said, is this me or this is just what the environment made me to be? So even now, I'm a Nigerian. I am not denying that. But a lot of Nigerians will say, I am not totally Nigerian anymore. Why? And also, people in Russia know that I'm not Russian. And I'm not American, I'm not British, I'm not English, I'm not European, I'm not American, I'm African, but I'm not totally African as well. People say, you don't behave like an African because...
Amazing. Yeah. He said some amazing stuff there. Wow.
Yeah. You can hear he said he had to discover himself. But he did that through what? Through self-education. So it means until you engage on a journey of self-education, you will never come to know who you truly are. Because the way it started, say you are not who you think you are right now, you sitting down there.
Yeah.
Until you engage. So that's one principle I know that DSA holds very dearly, and it continues to do it till today.
Yeah, you know what you're saying is interesting. I'm going to just come in there because many people try to describe Dr. Sunday, but it's difficult for people to lay their hands on who Dr. Sunday is. Like, okay, if we're saying he's Nigerian, but we look at this boy, this is not, the peculiarities of Nigerians are not so evident in him. Okay, let's check him as a Ukrainian or European, but it's different. Like, almost like you can't lay your hands on who is DSA, describe him and things like that. And just like what you've said, you know, well, we have to give life to ourselves. And the only way we can give life to ourselves is through self-education. And that's what Dr. Sunday does, even till now, 3 to 6 hours every day. This is a principle that he has made his life principle that he lives by till this point in time?
DSA is a man you can't put in a box. It's just like when the Bible says that those that are born of the Spirit, you cannot tell where they are going. They are like the wind. You can't tell where they are going or where they are coming from. That is exactly who DSA is. And that's why it was a challenge, even trying to come up with the principle, because which principle do I think of? Yeah, so it's one principle that I know that DSA has hammered on every single time.
Beautiful.
Now, we can go to the next slide, which is the next principle. This principle I've put here. If you don't know this principle, it means you don't know DSA. If you don't know this principle, you don't know DSA, because this principle is the principle that he says that it is his greatest discovery in life. And what is that principle? That life is predictable. I won't spend much time here because the video, and that's why I took my time, and that's why I took my time to put the YouTube series, so that whoever is listening to this broadcast today, you can actually go to the YouTube series. For each of these principles, you'll be able to find the series that addressed it. Yeah. So life is predictable is a series in YouTube. And why did he say that? Because it is something that DSA has drummed, at least if not in anybody's head, but in my head, is that life is predictable because of fixed laws and principles. And those are the principles that we are actually studying today from a great man like DSA, so that we also can begin to replicate what DSA has replicated. So life is predictable is one of DSA's greatest secrets and one of the principles that he lived by. And he does that because he has discovered a lot of principles in life. And you know, it's a very bold statement for anybody to make. Like I remember my Moreau was making a statement along that line, but not exactly, was that you don't need a prophet to prophesy what your life or the life of somebody else will be. All you need to do, study the person, look at the laws and the principle the person is keeping or breaking, and you can tell in the next 30 or 40 years where that person will be. Yeah. So that is the principle that DSA, and that's why he said he was ready to die when he was 40, because for him, he felt that he has done so much. Why? Because he was living by those principles. There's a short video for this.
We'll get the video, but one of the things that I also want to add, and I noticed that you did in your slide, but it's good that you highlighted to the viewers that in each of those slides, you have the series for those principles. And I think what I also noticed is that in all of your slides, I've been seeing DSA's books that relate to the principle.
I did that on purpose because for me, I saw this broadcast, even though we are honoring DSA, the truth of the matter is, he's not the one that will really benefits, because these are principles that he has lived by, that has brought him to where he is today. So whether we say it, whether we don't say it,
he's
it doesn't
living
make
by
any difference to DSA. So I felt that in the process of honoring DSA, I think we should also use the opportunity to learn from it.
Yeah.
And to also point us to particular teachings and books. So for example, if you are confused or what do I read or whatever, if you see one principle that you know you've been struggling with, you can actually tell, okay, this is the message I can listen to, this is the book I can read. So that was the idea I had.
Beautiful.
And that's why I decided to look for the books that address that topic and the messages that address that topic, so that people can actually learn from it.
That's a very brilliant move there. And I think our viewers, they have to pay attention to that. Not just listen to what you're saying, not just read the main principle, but to also pay attention to the books that are on each slide and to the series that are there. Great idea there, Bro Chris. All right, let's have the video that Bro Chris has.
Greatest secret of success that I have discovered. The greatest secrets of life, actually, not just business. That
Wow. You know, bro Chris, the last words that Dr. Sunday said there, I think is very, very, very profound. That God does not want life to be mysterious. God does not want us to grope in the dark through life.
You know, that statement alone, life is predictable. It's a big challenge for the religious folks in Africa and in Nigeria, because, you know, they always tell you, God works in a mysterious way. That's the slogan that we have in churches. And that's why sometimes things happen and people just look, they don't understand it, and they just say, God give it and God take it away, and make all those kind of statements. But listening to this man, you know that he's talking from wealth of knowledge and wealth of wisdom and wealth of experience. And that's why he has discovered that secret. And we can see it in his life today, that he's actually living out his life because of the way he has planned it out, because he knows these laws, that life is predictable.
Amazing.
So, the next principle I'll be looking at is the principle of hard work. There's no video for this, so I'll just like give a brief word, and I'll move on. Now, why did I pick hard work as a principle that I believe that Pastor Sunday lived by? You only need to hear him talk, and you only need to hear him teach. But apart from that, you only need to go close to Pastor Sunday for you to know the amount of work that Pastor Sunday does. Now, a man who was able to build the largest church in Europe at the age of 33 is no joke. You understand? It is no joke. It is hard work. A man who was able to raise thousands and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of leaders. And the one that baffles me the most, a man who was able to work with addicts and rehabilitate them in thousands. And he raised leaders that could do it. My brother, that is that is hard work. If you just only need to work with one addict, I've experienced it. I know how difficult it is to work with just one, either alcoholic addict or drug addict. But for a man to work with people like that and produce leaders out of them, that man is a man that is giving and that is driven by hard work. There's a quote by, I think it's Warren Buffett. He said, you cannot produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. So that just sums it up. Because Pastor Sunday understands that success does not come cheap. And that is why he works so hard on himself. We heard Pastor Derek saying yesterday that there was a time in his life where he had this philosophy of sleeplessness. Yeah. And he will work and outwork everybody. But he came to realize that, okay, so you need to work hard, but at the same time, you need to understand that it is your productivity that actually determines how many hours you sleep, because it's not how many hours you don't sleep that matters. But one thing that I know of Pastor Sunday, the few years that I've known him, is a man that is driven by hard work. And that's why he was able to write a book, How to Urgently. I remember the first day I showed somebody that book. And the person was like,
it's not how to, but it's why you must.
Why you must. Urgently, the word urgently become a work. You know, workaholic is a negative, it has a negative connotation, especially in Nigeria. But a man telling you must become a workaholic, it honestly is mind-boggling. I showed somebody that book and he was like, who will write such a useless book? You know, so I said, go and check the content first before you dismiss the book. So that's Pastor Sunday for you. There's so much I can say, but forget it. Pastor Sunday is somebody that his level of work ethic, honestly speaking, I've rarely seen it. I've rarely seen it. The only person I would have said I would compare with him was maybe a person like Oyedepo, but coming to know Pastor Sunday, honestly speaking, forget it. He's on a different level, on a different class on his own.
You know, the other book you have there,
yeah,
many people have not read that book. Even I just started reading that book, I think 2 days ago. Why does God take from those who don't have and give to those who have? People would think they already know how to preach that scripture
Scripture, but they don't know.
until they read that book. So I'm very happy that you brought out that book there to explain on the principle of hard work. It will blow people's mind.
To round up this principle, let me just give a quote from that book you just mentioned now.
Yeah.
Pastor Sunday said this. He said, we want the tip without the soil, the gain without the grind, the sweet without the sweat, the prize without the pain, and the perks without perseverance. He said, today, duty, diligence, hard work, and attention to details are a rare commodity in any endeavor, whether it be at home, at work, or at church. This is why God takes from those who don't have and gives to those who have.
See, I tell you, I don't want to flog on this because I know you have a lot more principles.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I want to give a challenge to everyone listening to get this book. Now, this is not advice. Just get this book and read this book. You understand exactly what Chris is saying and why Dr. Sunday is a workaholic and why he does what he does. But I would like Bro Chris to continue with his presentation to the next one.
So the next principle I put on the list, I just hope we'll have enough time to go through them.
Yeah,
the next principle is the principle of service. Service. This, like I said again, I won't spend much time because all Pastor Sunday does, he does to serve people.
Yes.
Pastor Sunday is so heavy on people. Now, ask yourself, the daily broadcast is not for him. He already has these materials. He already lives by them. He has already achieved success in life. And that's why he's pouring out all that he has. But there's a cardinal principle in this quote that Pastor Sunday normally makes in this principle. And he says, we only serve God when we serve people. He said, because God is abstract. So how can you serve God that you cannot see? And that's why everything about Pastor Sunday is about service. As little as, and you know what? He serves not just like one to many in a crowd, but one to one. You will be with Pastor Sunday. For example, whenever we're in HMT, you'll be with Pastor Sunday. And you see that somebody will want to lift a chair or somebody will want to take a glass. Pastor Sunday himself will quickly rush to go and carry the chair for you. We rush to go and carry the mug or the cup for you. Most of the time, you discover that you see why a message is going on. You see somebody, maybe somebody is crying or somebody has cold or kata. Why everybody is just like paying attention and ignoring that person? So Pastor Sunday is so attentive that Pastor Sunday will just quickly look for tissue. He will stop his message. He will look for tissue. Or if there's no tissue, he will ask somebody to bring tissue. And he will take the tissue and he will give to the person. That is a man who is so driven by service. Pastor Sunday is so driven by service. And everything he does. And you know, for me, before I'll say, let's play the video, you can cut the video. I just want to say this, because when I met Pastor Sunday, I discovered what service actually is, true service in the kingdom. Because we think that service is going to church to clean the floor of the church. Yeah. We think service is going to church to serve in the choir. We say we want to serve in protocol. But when I met Pastor Sunday, this is the concept I have of service. Number one, you must first discover your gifts, your talents, and eventually discover your calling. Number two, you must work so hard to invest in yourself and polish that gift. Number three, you must identify your sphere of influence. Number four, you must begin to use those gifts in that sphere of influence to serve people. And you must serve so well until you begin to conquer that sphere of influence. Beautiful. So that was where I got an understanding of what service is. And that's where I just felt, yeah, I think now, because I used to tell myself, I said I've arrived at my last bus stop. There's no going anywhere. So this is the principle that, yeah, Pastor Sunday live by. So there's a short video, but you can stop it where once you get the message.
All right, let's have the video on the principle of service.
we only serve God when we serve people. We cannot, there is no service to God without service to man. There is no service to God without serving man. That is very important. Now, can you imagine what our own idea of service is? Most of us believe that we serve God only when we go to the mass, if you are a Catholic, or when you go to the service, when you go to church, if you are a Protestant. We go to church every Sunday to serve God. Well, I'm not sure about that. And some of us who are really very enthusiastic and very religious and very pious and very righteous and very holy and really very passionate about our faith, most of us try to serve in the church. Some of us serve as ushers, some of us serve as choir members, some of us serve as children workers, and we try to do our best. But really, the best kind of service that God will accept from every one of us is when we serve people. You know, all of us, we want to serve the God that we don't see, the God that is so far, the God that is so, abstract. You know, so we like this idea of serving God abstractly. Oh, I'm serving God, I serve God, I know God. What do you do? Well, I go to church. Well, I try to do something in my church. Some people actually equate serving God with money. Well, I give some money to people. I give money to church. That's my service. Well, you cannot really serve God that you don't see if you don't pay attention to people that you see. Now, let's look at the scripture. Do you remember the situation when Jesus Christ actually washed the feet of his disciples? What do you think he was doing? What do you think the lesson was? Because I actually know there are some denominations right now all over the world that is what they do. They actually physically try to wash the feet of their members, and they wash each other's feet. Nothing bad about that. If you like it, please go ahead and do it. But the real lesson that Jesus is trying to teach us in that story is that it is about people. Even though Jesus himself is the Son of God, not just the Son of God, Jesus is God all by himself. And despite that, he will not bypass people. And some people think, no, Jesus, you are too important to pay attention to ordinary people like us. You are too important to begin to serve us and wash our feet. Jesus didn't think that way, because if they are people, according to Jesus, these people are made in the image of God. And these people carry God's likeness. And whatever he's doing for them, he's actually doing for God. So by
You know, bro Chris, these videos that you brought are very good, because it brings life to what you're talking about. Because, you know, it's one thing to just say, oh, principle of service. And when people hear the word service, they just think like, oh, church service, or going to serve, I'm in choir, or I'm in the ushering department. But bringing these videos and listening to Dr. Sunday bringing some redefinitions or some clarity to these terms of service, I think it's an amazing thing, so that people who are watching will not just look at those words and just think they understand that Dr. Sunday is living by the principle of service, but to hear what service really means. That service is not going to church and being an usher or cleaning. No, it's beyond that. But service is serving people. Seeing God in people and serving that God in people. That no one is too important to serve ordinary people. Amazing.
Right on point. You're on point. Like you always say, always see the God in people. Because that's the only way you can serve people. Even when it's difficult for you. But look past them, but see the God in them, and you will serve. So going to the next principle, the principle of diligence. The next slide.
Yes.
The principle of diligence. Now, I will just use a little bit of my experience watching Dr. Sunday, and when we are kind of like together to explain this, I won't spend much time. Now, you discover that DSA is somebody that is so detailed, so conscious of the very little things that people can easily take for granted. Now, what's diligence? Diligence simply means when you are very careful and persistent in doing something, everything you do. Now, for example, like if you see DSA sometimes in a live show, right? You see DSA, why DSA is teaching? DSA is still correcting.
He's still like this, he's still like that.
He's correcting his technical workers. He's doing this because he's capturing everything. Details to him matters. Then in the last HMT, I remember when he was talking about sometimes people will just sew clothes for him. They won't even take his measurements. They'll just, by the time the cloth comes, the shoulder will be up, one button will be there. But he says that when you look at how cloth is sewn, to the tiniest thread, to the way the button is put, measured, everything must be done diligently with absolute care. So that is a man who lives by that principle. And I remember when I was listening to the Thinking series, DSA mentioned something about diligence. He was saying something else, but he brought diligence, and he was talking about your attitude to words. Your attitude to words. He said, if you are not diligent with words, then your life will just be anywhere. He said, because the quality of life that you live, the quality of who you become tomorrow is based on the diligence you apply to words, your attitude to words. So for me, that is a man that lives by that principle. Just take a look at DSA's YouTube channel. Everything is structured. In fact, I sent the link, the channel to somebody, it's Minister Top Guy. And he was looking, came by and said, wow. He said, everything is just like structured, everything in place. You go to you go to the homepage, every teaching has a heading. You go to each teaching, every series, then you go to the title, every title. That's a man that is a man of diligence. And you can see it everywhere. You work with DSA everywhere. Diligence, diligence, diligence. I think, okay, the next principle, the next principle, if you go to the next slide, is the principle of, I didn't know how to title this, but it's a principle I've titled, Problems Are a Blessing. This is something, and that's why you sit down sometimes and you ask yourself, does this man ever break down? Does this man ever have challenges? Because DSA has come to realize that in every problem is packaged a blessing. So while others are focusing on the package, the problem, DSA is looking beyond the package. DSA is looking for the problem for the blessings that came with that problem. And if you are privileged to be on the mentorship program, I think the very first book we read is The Value and the Essence of Life. Then I think we read another one, Life is an Opportunity. That is when you will actually understand the mind of this man. DSA converts every problem he gets into something tangible. Every problem that comes to DSA, he converts it to a product. You abuse him, you insult him, you do a video against him. You are just, in fact, like Pastor Derek said, I keep going back to that message because it was profound for me. You discover that it's like you are fueling DSA. You are pouring fuel into that man you call DSA to even do more. So for me, I've looked at DSA from a distance, and I am actually learning how to deal with problems of life. Because you will never see DSA, all the challenges since I've known DSA, all the allegations, all the challenges, all the people abusing, I've never seen DSA come out and respond to them or talk to them. He just goes
only if people want him to respond.
Only if people, and not just if people, we must have pushed and pushed and pushed before he finally come out and say something. Because this is a man who understands. You understand that problems, right, are, how will I put it now? Problems are keys in life that you can use to unlock doors. Because he was saying that, I think he mentioned once, was that something along the line that bad publicity is even better than no publicity at all. So that you can see his mindset. You understand? So this one principle that I've seen in DSA, despite the persecution in Ukraine, in Russia, even from his own people right now, the criticism, the guy is just flourishing because he understands this principle that with every problem comes a blessing. So he keeps rising and he keeps rising and he keeps rising. As the more you throw at him, the more DSA rise, because he's just what is DSA doing? DSA is just pulling the blessings out of the problem. He's just pulling the blessings out of the problem. Yeah. So
you know,
I don't know,
bro, Chris, I don't know. Do you have a video for this, or you want to go to the next slide?
I have a video, but we can skip the video and go to the next slide.
Okay, but maybe I don't know. Maybe we can just show a part of the video. I just want to give this addition about this point.
Okay.
Just my thoughts, if you don't mind, because it's one thing for you've said it very well that Dr. Sunday he converts his problems into blessings. So he does not even see it as a problem. But you know, just the opportunity I have to be in close proximity to him, I see how Dr. Sunday doesn't just convert his problems into blessings, but it's hard for any problem that Dr. Sunday notices, not just about himself, but about others, for him to miss it and not convert it. I'll give you a very quick example. One day we're in the car together, in his car, and I think we're going to church. And while we're going, we're just having a conversation. And Dr. Sunday saw a pregnant woman on the streets, heavy. And I think she was carrying some bags. We didn't see the pregnant woman. It was him that saw the pregnant woman. Do you know what happened? 5 minutes after that, Dr. Sunday said, I need a recorder. Or who has a recorder here? Do you know what happened? Just the next 5 minutes. You can guess. A book. A book came out, and that book, I don't know what the title will be, but the whole idea of the book is he wants to write a book to help women or ladies, married women, to know the questions that they must ask themselves and their husband before they agree to be pregnant.
To get married.
No,
to be pregnant.
Not
to be
married.
Pregnant.
Before you say yes, I want to be pregnant and have a child.
Wow.
What questions? That book is not yet out yet, but I'm just saying so that you know how Dr. Sunday thinks about problems.
Wow.
You need to see how he sees one problem here. He's already changing that problem, already bringing the blessings out to help people. Wow. I was amazed that day. I was like, just by seeing a pregnant woman struggling carrying bags, just right there, he just said, I need a recorder. And we got a whole book to help women to know what questions they must answer. You must answer all of these questions before you say, okay, now I'm ready. I know what it means to be pregnant, and I'm ready to be pregnant.
You know, the one that even baffled me, remember during the 25th anniversary, when the fire was burning the building, DSA got there and called for camera
to record it.
To record it. I just said, look, this is a man who will turn this situation right now to another product.
Yeah, that's just.
You understand? He wasn't baffled. And he went back to church and preached.
Yeah. Even
though the building was burning.
Yeah.
A man that will write a book, hello, I'm searching for problem. You should know that he knows something about problem that we don't know.
Yeah.
And I believe that he sees problem as a blessing that he takes. So let's go to the next slide. We can skip the
next slide. Next slide.
Yeah. So the next principle is what yesterday Pastor Ek hammered upon, and I have a very short video similar to that. As the principle of gratitude. I learned so much, the principle of gratitude. But I from my own little experience, I have seen Pastor Sunday, that Pastor Sunday doesn't lose or miss the opportunity to be grateful. Yeah. Sometimes when I communicate with DSA, I just kind of like text him or write him. His response alone to me is like, the response shakes me, because he'll be responding to me as if, how would I put it now? As if he's the one that is grateful. As if he's the one that is learning from me. As if he's the one that is to benefit from me. And I'll be asking myself, what is this? But it dawned on me that this is a man that appreciates gratitude. Not until I listened to that message, the 25th anniversary, where he was talking about you need to be grateful, otherwise you might never get the chance to yeah. So I wouldn't want to like buttress too much, because I know Pastor Derek did a very wonderful job. For those who might not know much about the principle of gratitude that DSA lives by, just watch that video, and you tend to either watch the 25th anniversary video or watch the video of yesterday's with Pastor Derek, and you understand the idea that DSA has with gratitude.
Let's watch the gratitude video.
Yeah,
because it's a very important principle.
Yeah,
it's a very important principle. Let's watch the video on gratitude.
Hello everybody, we're starting another week today, and this week I want to talk about gratitude or Thanksgiving, or being grateful, the act of being grateful. And it is a very interesting and a very important subject for all of us, because there are only two attitudes that a person has. Each one of us, each one of you that is looking at me today, you have one of these two attitudes. Either you are grateful or you take things for granted. So there are only two attitudes in life. You either live by the attitude of being grateful, or you live by the attitude of taking things for granted. So you either take life for gratitude or for granted, for gratitude or for granted. So what is your attitude to life? Gratitude or for granted? The people who take things for granted are the people who think that it is a normal thing for them to grow up in the family they grew up in, and that it's okay that their parents and their families own them something, that is just the normal thing for them to have all the privileges and all the blessings they've got. And they think that no, somebody owns them something. But in the real sense, nobody owns us anything. So we shouldn't take anything for granted. Even the fact that our parents love us, or our brothers and our siblings relate to us well, we shouldn't take it for granted. We should be grateful even for that. We shouldn't take it for granted that our wives and our children or our husbands love us, or that somebody is even agreeing to live with us, to share their lives with us. We shouldn't take things like that for granted. We should rather be grateful to our wives and our husbands that they can even share their loves with us and their lives with us. We should be grateful to our children that they listen to us, that they obey us, that they follow us. We should not take life for granted, because nobody owns us anything. Nobody is obligated to do anything for us. We are obliged to be grateful. We are obligated to be grateful to God, to everybody. Because if you are not grateful, if your attitude to life is not that of gratitude, then you will even take God for granted. You will take people for granted. You will always be dissatisfied and unhappy, discontent with everything around you. But when you're grateful, you are exuberant with joy, happiness and satisfaction, contentment. It's an amazing thing. Either you are grateful in life, or you take things for granted. Don't let us be people who take things for granted. Let us be people of gratitude. Tomorrow we'll continue. God bless.
I'm so happy we played this video. Yeah. I think this is something that we all have to go and really think about, because many times we think people owe us, and we think we're entitled to, oh, come on, you're my husband, you should love me. Oh, come on, you're my wife, you should love me. Oh, come on, you're my child, you should listen to me, I'm your parent. Oh, come on, you're there to clean this house, so why not clean this house? And we just think that people owe us things, and we take people for granted, and we take life for granted, and we even take God for granted.
Yeah.
But with gratitude, you are rather obliged, as Dr. Sunday said, to be grateful to everybody, and even for the very little things that people do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And one thing that really hit me in that video is when he said that if you are not grateful, you stand the risk of taking God for granted. That was profound. That was profound.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So going on, I would like us to play the next video. It's the next principle,
okay,
which
next
is very
principle.
popular.
Can we see the next principle?
The principle of conversion.
Conversion.
It's a 2-minute video. Then we can just talk about it and move on. I'm really watching out for our time here.
Conversion. We're working with it, and we want you to be able to give out all you've prepared for. So it's all right. So we have the video on conversion, right? Okay, let's have the video on conversion.
Okay, let's stop again there and like to see what Prince just said. Prince is trying to tell us exactly what happened in Genesis, and it's telling us what conversion is here. God is invisible. But remember that principle. Even God becomes irrelevant on the earth without conversion. Think about that. Think about that. Is it tough? Do you want me to go further about that? Or do I need to explain that? Or that is clear? That God is irrelevant on the earth without conversion. You need explanation. Okay. You need explanation. Okay. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, the Bible tells us that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was what? Without form, is void, and dark. It was invisible, dark. God had not acted. God had not yet converted himself. But that was when God had not yet converted, even though God was there. In the beginning, God. But without the conversion of God, even God was irrelevant on the earth. Because despite the existence of God, because in the beginning, God. But despite the existence of God there, and despite the presence of God there was still void. There was still darkness. And there was still formless. Because God has not converted himself.
Wow. Without conversion. God.
When it was, I remember that HMC, it was a big deal for a lot of people there to swallow.
Well, all of us there.
Yeah, you could see he was asking, is it tough? Should I explain? Because a religious mind cannot take some of the things that Pastor Sunday teaches. It is impossible. Your mind must be renewed. But you see, I also understand that it takes a man who knows God, who knows God very well, to make the kind of statements that Pastor Sunday. He's a lover of God. We know that Pastor Sunday loves God. If you know Pastor Sunday, you know he loves God. But for him to love God and still be making such statements that you need more faith in yourself than faith in God. God is irrelevant on the earth without conversion.
The big God.
I'm telling you.
Is
But you see,
irrelevant. Wow.
I'm telling you. There's so much we can talk about conversion, but I want people to go and get those books, or at least even if you don't want to get the book, go to the conversion series and sit down and listen. Because what do I want to say here that has not been covered? But we can see it in Pastor Sunday's or Dr. Sunday's life. Like we mentioned just earlier, he converts every single thing. And one of the things he stressed the most is time.
Yes.
Conversion of time. You understand? Pastor Sunday will convert everything convertible. There is nothing you throw to him. Pastor Sunday will convert everything convertible. And there's something he also said. He said, in the book, no one is better than you. He said, no one is better than you. They only converted better.
Wow.
So that's a principle that this man lives by. And it's a principle. Before I came to Pastor Sunday, yes, I've heard the word conversion, but I've never in my life heard that is a principle. I've never in my life heard how you can use conversion, how you can convert. It's completely a new concept for me. And these are things that I'm still like digging down and trying to like understand, trying to make flesh, because most of this teaching is easy to hear. It's easy to just read the books, but until they become flesh in you, you've not really started. Wow. So yeah, that's one principle I just felt that
let's see the presentation.
I must mention. So the next presentation, the next slide is a popular one also, is the principle of solitude. The principle of solitude. Most of these principles, for those who have been following Pastor Sunday for a long time, are principles that we don't really need to waste much time on. You know that Pastor Sunday is a man that is given to solitude, and everybody that comes close to Pastor Sunday will always tell you. If you read the book, I think it was the book How to Raise the Next Generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, you see where he was talking about the principles of solitude there. A solitude is just a time of separation where you are alone, either with yourself or with God. Because before I met Pastor Sunday, I only knew of the fasting and prayer. And it's still solitude in a sense, but all we knew then was just, it's just a time with God. And we go in and we come out after 3 days, nothing to show for it. No product to show for it. We are just there praying. Whether God is hearing you, God is not hearing you, you don't know. You are doing your religious duty. You are just praying. No, nothing is coming back. You are not writing down anything. You're just speaking in tongues. And you just say you are walking by faith. Because you leave that place and you say your faith is strong and God is going to do it. But you see, he came with a different concept of what solitude is. I was shocked when I heard him when he talked about solitude, and he was talking about when you go into solitude, you must have a goal of what you want to achieve. Before you come out, you must go in with a goal. And by the time you are coming out, you should be able to assess, did I have that goal? And I started hearing him talking about your goal might be to write a book. I said, write a book in solitude. Your goal might be to develop an idea that you had into a product. Your goal might be to just do anything, maybe build a blog or something, but also use that time to seek the face of God, to get inspiration, to get ideas.
It's a fellowship.
I just sat there and said, God, what have I been doing all my life? I've just been wasting life, wasting time, saying I was seeking the face of God. But I think this principle for me is something that really, it's not something I really practice as much as I want, but it's something that I hold very dear, and it's one principle that I know has gotten Pastor Dr. Sunday, I call him Pastor a lot, Dr. Sunday to where he is today, the principle of solitude. I don't know if there's time. We could, solitude is a topic that we don't really need to play the video. People can, although what he said there, I think we should play the video. We can cut it after about two minutes.
All right, let's have the video then.
There's something he said there that was really profound.
Let's have the video. Let's have the video, yes. Yeah. So while we wait for the video, I'd like to quickly announce that after Bro Chris's presentation. If you like to call into the studio, please, you can begin to register right now. You could go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agent, and you can begin to register your intent to call in, so that when Bro Chris is done, we'll be able to receive your call. All right. So let's have the video
Okay.
now.
So the message of today is convert your time into a treasure called solitude. You remember how we started this whole journey? This whole journey is about people who have lost their job, or this is about people who don't have work. And the question is, what should people do when they have lost their job? Because there is no salary, there is no money to bring to the house, there is no money to feed their children with. So what should people do if they have lost their salary, if they have lost their income or their job? And I'm trying to say, you know, when you lose your job, that is one of the greatest things that could ever happen to you. And that thing is the fact that, thank God, at last you are face to face with the greatest resource that is out there. You are face to face with the greatest wealth that is out there. And that greatest wealth that is out there is the wealth of time. That is nothing more precious than the wealth of time. If you could realize that everything is made out of time, everything is made out of time. So if you will be able to convert your free time into anything you want, if you know what the treasure of time, if you know that time is a resource, you'll actually be able to convert your time to any product you want. You'll be able to convert your time to anything. So time could be converted to anything. You know, it is from time that everything is made. So one of the things that you could do with your time is to convert your time to a treasure, to a greater treasure. And that treasure is solitude. Solitude is a greater treasure than money. Solitude is a greater treasure than wealth. Solitude is a greater treasure of, you know, solitude is the means through which you could concentrate in using your time. You could concentrate to converting your time into something of value. So solitude is a time is a time when you are actually doing something with your time. So it's a form of overcoming distraction. It is a form of overcoming distraction. And when you overcome distraction, you'll be able to do something more specifically, something more precise, something more definite with the time that you have. So it's the time, the gift of the time of solitude is one of the greatest treasures you could ever think about. It's a wonderful, wonderful treasure. Nothing like.
Wow, Bro Chris. I would like you to share what you would like to say about this video, because I have my thoughts. But let's hear from you.
Yeah, it's a pity because there's a part of that video where he explained the value of solitude, and they brought a jug filled with water, right? And said, you see this jug, your life, your body, your physical body, your presence here on earth is like this jug. He said, but the water inside that jug is your life. So he was giving an explanation that whenever you waste life, you are
Is it in this video that you just played?
Yeah, is it?
Well, maybe we can move it forward to that part, at least so that people can see the graphic image. Thought video there. Mosna Pradaja there. A thought video there. So we'll just move the video forward a little bit so that we can see this description, so that at least that graphic image will be good for us to see. All right, so we'll continue the part you just described, and then you come back.
I think it's a different video. I think I'm mixing them up.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's a different video.
Okay,
yeah.
all right then. All right.
But
then.
I think it's the same scenario,
the same concept. Okay, all right.
So we can move on.
Okay, we can move to the next slide. Okay, yeah. Good.
So the next one, anyone that saw the HMT on questioning, we know the next principle. So the next principle is actually the principle of questioning. And I'll briefly just say a few things. And depending on time, we can play the video or not. You see, like DSA will always come with these powerful quotes that will knock down the head of any religious foe. And you see, one of the things that DSA said about questioning is the fact that questioning is even more important than your belief in God. Questioning is more important than your belief in God. Now, why did I take questioning as one of DSA's principles? Because DSA is somebody that is obsessed with question. You will see it every time DSA has conversations with you. If you don't ask question, he will ask question. Every time he teaches, he asks question. In fact, I think he is the one that has introduced the concept of preaching and getting feedback at the same time, because we are not used to it. In the African church, what you do, you go, whether you go on Wednesday or Thursday, even in your self-fellowship, you just go there, sit down, and one man will just dish out. At the end of the day, everybody disperses, everybody goes. Whether what he's saying is correct, whether what he's saying is not correct,
one-way traffic.
One-way traffic. But DSA is somebody who lives this principle, who imbibes this principle, and every time you are with DSA, just look at the HMT. Sometimes he will get to a stage, okay, if nobody has a feedback or a question, you all stand up. Why? Because this is a man that knows the value of question. Like in some of the videos I watch, you see DSA will say that without questioning, there will be no information.
Oh, yes.
Without questioning, there will be no learning.
Yes.
Without questioning, there is no growth.
Yes.
Without questioning, there is no discovery.
Yes.
Without questioning, there is no progress.
Yes.
Without questioning, there is no fulfillment in life.
Absolutely.
He said for you to know that you are a living thing, is that you ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you are as good as dead.
Wow.
So let's just play that. It's a very short video. Let's play the video about when they were actually asking him about why he loves questioning. Okay. And let's see his response.
Good. So let's have the video on questioning now.
What do you really think about asking questions? And I mean, are there times in your life that you had to ask questions that really helped you somehow?
All the time. Questions reveal a lot of things about you. Questions reveal your hunger. Questions reveal your depth. Questions reveal your vision. Questions reveal your direction. Questions reveal your depth. Questions reveal your purpose. Questions reveal your size as a human being. Questions reveal where you are going to go to. Questions reveal the kind of person you will become in life. Question is impregnated with marvels. So many wonders are answerable to questions. Question is the reason why we have a car. Questions is the reason why we have a plane. Question is the reason why we dress the way we are today, why we live in the home we live in today. That's why we have all the wonderful technological inventions that we have. People ask questions, and questions have brought about everything we have today and we are enjoying in life today. There is nothing as important as questions. If you could ask questions, then there is no limit to where you could go in life. Wow. Questions, there is a mystery behind it. There's almost nothing as powerful as question in life. When you can ask, in fact, questions are more important than having a family. Question is more important than having children. Question is more important even than believing in God. Because if you don't ask the right question, you can believe in God just like the jihadists do or the terrorists do. They also believe in God. But if they could only ask questions and say, God, is it right that am I believing right in God by which kind of God, what kind of God is that that's asking me to go and kill other people? If you could just ask questions, ask yourself questions, ask your God questions. So questions are more important than just faith in God. Because people they think they have faith in God and they are doing all kinds of crazy things. Questions are more important than having a family, because then if you don't ask the right questions, then you don't be able to take care of the family. You don't know the interests and the needs of your spouse. Then if you don't ask the right question, you'll not be able to bring up your children. So questions are more important than children, because then you'll be able to now to bring up your children. So questions, almost nothing as important as questions.
Wow.
So when people don't ask questions, it means they are empty. When people don't have questions, it means they don't have direction. When people don't have questions, they don't ask questions, it means they don't have a place we are going to. When people don't ask questions, it means they don't have a pursuit. When people don't ask questions, it means that they are stagnated. It means that they are lost. It means they don't have direction, and they don't have purpose. They don't have anything they are aiming for in life. So questions is one of the most important occupation and duty you could be engaged in on a daily basis. Just asking yourself questions.
Wow. Okay.
You know, I'm just trying to imagine the shock in that lady's face. Like, I thought I just asked simple question. No, now why do you like to ask questions? Or why questions is important? And the Sunday went on and on and on and on, and I'm sure the girl was like,
Yeah.
This, you know, there's a whole book on question. It has been translated to English already on why questions are more important than faith in God, than food, than marriage, than children. When that book is out, it will just be fire everywhere.
Yeah. So Dr. Anu, how are we doing for time? Because I can see.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. It's fine.
Okay.
Let's
so
move on
I
to the
think
next one.
I'll skip some of the slides because I know there's no way we'll be able to.
No,
go
let's
through
continue. Let's continue. No, we're not skipping anything.
Okay. So the next principle is the principle of preparation. If you go to the next slide, please.
Yeah, we're there.
Principle of preparation. We can see that DSA is a man who prepares. And I'll just use one example, not to waste our time. You can see the level of preparation that DSA is putting into going back to Nigeria. For an average man, he will just wake up, no plan, no thinking. The highest he will do is, let me get a house for myself so that I don't have to pay rent. But you can see that even though DSA has been in Ukraine for this long, and he knows that God has told him he's going back to Nigeria.
Yes.
Look at the level of preparation that he has put into his return to Nigeria. He has, I think he has about 3 different think tanks, one in America, one in Canada, one in Nigeria, everybody working collectively, and one in Ukraine towards that goal. That is a man who understands the power of preparation. Like they say, we always say that before you hear me come out and say anything, just know that I have thought about it different ways. I have considered all the angles before I came out. And that's why when he came out and predicted that Atiku cannot, you know, when he did the ledger challenge, honestly speaking, let me tell you the truth, I was a little bit shaking. When he,
you were afraid for that. This, you should not have at least said that Atiku part.
That is exactly what I said. I said, yes, you can challenge all these people now, but when it comes to this election, why did you put Atiku? And he was like, I am sure, with everything I know, Atiku cannot win. I said, God, but you see, it is because DSA has done his homework.
He has done it. Finished it.
He has finished it before he came out and made that statement.
Yeah.
So DSA is, I see him as somebody who takes preparation very, very seriously. He doesn't joke with it. So that's one, one principle I see in him. I'll just quickly read some of the quotes I got from some of his books.
Good.
On preparation.
Good.
He said there's a secret formula of luck in life. It is called preparation.
Yes.
So people who believe in luck, there's no such thing as luck. It's actually preparation. He said every dream, idea, or desire is feasible if it is well prepared for.
True.
He said your level of preparation determines the level of results. And so say your level of preparation will determine the level of luck if you believe in luck. They say luck favors only those who are prepared. This is a man that has an understanding of preparation.
He uses, you've had him say before that for his message, when he's preparing for his message or his life, he uses like 6 hours. Yeah, can you imagine? So
6 hours.
and you think how many hours, maybe so when Dr. Sunday says these things, you think, is it the same 24 hours that we have in a day that Dr. Sunday has? But then if you come to live with him and you see the way he lives, you will know that he's not exaggerating.
That's why I feel that until you go close to this man, you will really not know who DSA is.
Even when you come close.
I thought that I was beginning to know him. Honestly speaking, I thought that, okay, now I'm beginning to know DSA. But after yesterday's show, I said I've not started scratching the surface at all. Yeah, so I'll move on to the next principle, which is similar to what we discussed before. And the principle is the principle of pain is gain. And I would like us to show the video. Very short video also for pain is gain.
Okay. So the video of pain is gain.
Is gain. 15.
Pain is gain. I can see the book there, How to Turn Everything Negative to Positive.
Yeah.
People need to read that book. People need to read that book. And the other one there is an amazing book. All right, let's have the video.
Hello, Believe Nation. I'm Evan Carmichael. My one word is believe, and I believe that entrepreneurs are going to solve all of the major problems of the world. So to help you on your journey, today we're going to learn from Pastor Sunday Adelaja and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Rule number 4 is my personal favorite, and I'd love to know which one you guys like the best. And as always, guys, as you're watching, if you hear something that really resonates with you, please leave it down in the comments below. Put quotes around it so other people can be inspired, and when you write it down, it's much more likely to stick for yourself as well. Enjoy.
Stop pitying yourself. Stop pitying yourself. Stop, looking at yourself as a victim. That is one thing you must stop doing if you want to attain anything in life. You know what? Life is about pain. Everybody, one time or the other, feels pain. And if you are afraid of pain or you want to run away from pain all the time, that means you pity yourself too much. And if you run away too much from pain, then you will not have any progress, or you will not experience any change in life whatsoever. Every change requires pain. For example, if you want to just sit down at home and study and not watch TV and not go to play with your friends, that costs something. That causes some pain. If you want to be different from other people, people criticize you and talk about you, that causes some pain. But those pains are what I call voluntary pains. They are pains that you need to pay the price of right now so that you'll be able to avoid greater pain later on in life. So, but if you are somebody that likes comfort too much, and you think that any correction or any process of pain is too much for you, or is deadly for you, or is unbearable for you, you will only be pitying yourself. And if if all what you're doing is just pitying yourself, you will never become a better person. Sometimes we all need to be tough on ourselves. Be tough on yourself. Get your flesh out of that bed and go do what you need to do. Sometimes you need to force your flesh to listen. Don't let the flesh have dominion over you. Get to do what you need to do and let that flesh feel that pain so that you might get the result that you desire in your life. Stop pitying yourself.
Wow. I like that. Be tough on yourself.
So I think for me, it's just, there's nothing to add to that, to what he has just said. Stop pitying yourself. We pity ourselves a lot. So it's amazing. Pastor Sunday is an amazing man, honestly speaking.
People, I'm just thinking here, and I'll feel like putting my hand on my head now. I'm just saying, hey, I'm thinking about who would listen to these things and now say it's trash, and say, oh, shots. Well, I can even learn from this man. Let's just, where's Sunday Adelaja? Just let's throw him into the garbage. Let's just hey.
It's amazing.
It's just amazing. That's the way to just say it's amazing for people to react like that.
It's amazing.
But you know,
yes.
all of these videos are free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please continue, sir.
Yeah. So the next slide, to the next principle, is the principle I've called, which there's a series for it, and it's principle that DSA believes a lot. A leader is a ladder. DSA considers himself a ladder for everyone. In fact, the very first time I met DSA, we were in his office. That was when he actually explained a little bit of this principle. The very first time I was in Ukraine, we were in his office, and he was saying that he sees himself as a ladder. He's there for anybody that is willing to climb. If you want to climb, I'm here for you. But if you don't want to climb, there's nothing I can do. I'm only, because when you put a ladder against a wall, the ladder will just be there looking for you. Do you want to get to the top? Climb. If you don't want to get to the top, you stay at the bottom and keep looking at the ladder. Now, I just say a few things, some of the things that DSA says and some of the things he does to actually portray this principle. Some DSA will always say, use my materials, write a book, start a blog, create your own video, create your own content, do it for free. I'm not charging you. This is a man who is a leader. While other bishops and other GOs are like seriously guarding their material, I know of a pastor now who wrote a book and has refused to put it on Amazon because he feels that people will get it for free or get it for cheap. I know people who write books, they want to circulate it through a channel that they must get the highest benefit. But yes, he said, go and read my book for free. The money you subscribe to Amazon is not coming to him. You are paying to Amazon, but you get it for his book free of charge.
Free.
Every month. Free. And people keep saying that, why is he selling books? Why is he advertising books? Jesus will say, read my books for free. He said, sell my books and make money for yourself. We know, at least I know, that he's not making anything from that book that he's selling. Yet he's saying he's still giving the book on discount. Buy it, go and sell it for profit and make money for yourself.
So start a business with it.
Just start a business with it. That is a leader. Those are little things. I don't want to even go to the church world and whatever, just for little things. Then when it comes to what he has done, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, I heard a man say, don't worry about the pirates. Just call them. Let's have a meeting. I'm like, people want to pirate your book. You are telling them, don't worry, you just print it for free. Who will sell? I said, I listened to an interview that I was interviewed by a white guy or by an Indian guy. Yeah. The Indian guy brought that thing up, that I heard that about your books and pirates, that it's profound what you did. And yes, I said, yes. Because I wrote these books, not because I want to benefit any material or financial thing. I want the news to go out there. So if I see people who will use their own money to print the book and distribute it, why not? I say, my God, this is indeed a leader. DSA is somebody, and I have to mention this because people might misunderstand. DSA is somebody that organizes history makers training, but don't get paid for it. Not a lot of people, when they register for history maker, they think, oh, the money is going to DSA. But if you really look at it, you are paying for your accommodation, you are paying for your feeding, and you are paying for your transportation from the airport to town and back to the airport. He doesn't get a dime. In fact, there was a time somebody said he wanted to come to Ukraine for HMT, and he was asking me how much, so I just sent the link. He called back, he was saying, for how many days? I told him, he said, are you serious? What if that is when he converted it to pounds? It was so small. He was, are you serious? For 8 days or 9 days? I said, yes. So I said, what you are paying for, you are not paying the man. You are paying for your accommodation there. You are paying for your feeding and your transportation. So that is a leader. And these are courses that cost thousands. Then lastly, this is somebody that has been doing Facebook Live for going to 3 years or more than 3 years now, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes once a day, and he has not called for offering. He has not called for tithes. He has not called for... The only 2 times I know he raised monetary donation was once for the Libya challenge, which the money is still there, and secondly, when there was a time that pastor in Redeem, these were people that were castigating him. The pastor in Redeem went to Nigeria, had an accident, and the news got to him, and DSA called for donations. And I think it ended up, the woman didn't get the money because of what Redeem was saying, and he decided to give the money to, is it Brother Ojo? There. So this is a man who has a heart to serve, a leader heart. He is a servant leader. DSA brought a new concept of leadership. He's a person who doesn't go around with entourage. The first time I came to Ukraine, sorry, I'm taking time, but the first time I came to Ukraine, something happened that blew my mind. It was time to go to church on Sunday. And they said, oh, the car is waiting for us, so they'll take us to church. So me, I just quietly went into the bus, just modest bus, and I sat down. And was it you, Pastor Igor, turned around and said, no, Christian, don't sit there, move to the other side. I said, why? He said, because that's Pastor Sunday's seat. I said, I said, Pastor Sunday is also traveling in this vehicle. Are you sure? He said, yes. He said, this is Pastor Sunday, but I couldn't put, it knocked me off because I couldn't imagine myself saying I'm sitting down in the same vehicle with Oyedepo, traveling, going to church. Me. He doesn't know me.
What do you have? Who are you?
Who am I? And Pastor Sunday has never met me. He met me for the first time in Ukraine. And now, after Pastor Sunday came, we all came in the car with some other people, and we were gisting, we were talking, we were asking us questions until we got to church. Coming back, the same thing. I say, my God, this is another level of leadership. So this is a man that is truly a leader at heart. I think I'll just move forward to the next slide. The next slide, which is the next principle, and I call it the principle of kingdom first. I don't think we need to waste much time with this, because if you know Pastor Sunday, you know he's a man of the kingdom. And he has written so many books. He has written The Kingdom Driven Life. He has written Kingdom First, Church Second. When I read that book, Kingdom Church First, Second, it was just an icing on the cake of the Kingdom Driven Life, where it was talking of the absolute. Is it the absolutism?
The absolutism
of the kingdom. And he said so many profound things that he was saying that the kingdom is supreme to the church. The kingdom cannot be questioned, but the church can be questioned. That was where I now even knew the purpose of the church. You know, a lot of people, we don't know what the purpose of the church is. We just believe that we are born again, we stay here, our Father is coming one day to take us home, and off we go. But you see, the church was created for a purpose. The church was created to carry out the orders of the kingdom, to carry out the purpose of the kingdom on earth. He says, do you know that the kingdom will judge the church? That another one is that a lot of people can't take. The kingdom will judge the church. And he said that church come and go, but the kingdom abides forever. You see, coming to meet Pastor Sunday, I've been reading Matthew 6:33 for so long, but for the first time, I got clarity of that verse. When he says, seek first the kingdom. I understood it. In fact, I understand it to a point that I can teach it. That's how much I understand the kingdom, the place of the church and the place of the kingdom, what the kingdom, in fact, how the whole thing began. Some people will ask me why. It was through the message of that kingdom I even knew why God created man. Because people will ask, why did God create man in the first place? Is he not God? Don't ask, why did he put the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the garden? Why did he do this? But through the understanding of kingdom, that just did it for me. So Pastor Sunday, forget it. He's a man of the kingdom. Every of his messages, you can see. And what he has achieved in Ukraine and all over the world is because he comes with a unique message that you hardly see any preacher preach. And that's the message of the kingdom.
You know, Bro Chris, before you even go to the next point, I hope people are able to really see the depth of your presentation today, because it is like all of these principles you are listing and giving out, you know, maybe people can begin to understand Dr. Sunday even deeper, because many people cannot grasp their mind to understand why would Dr. Sunday have a church, big church in Ukraine, and he wants to leave the church. So it's easier for people to say, oh, he has lost his church, that's why he's coming to Nigeria. Oh, he has lost his church. Oh, there is no more a pastor. Oh, he has been chased away. But they don't understand that this man does not live by the principle of church first. As you are saying, that his principle is kingdom first.
Kingdom first.
And so because it is kingdom first, why he can easily leave the church and go and fulfill the kingdom in Nigeria where God is calling him to do.
Exactly.
So I don't know if people are really following and really getting it, but I really hope so, that people are able to really see and understand that this man is not just living anyhow, or just following his emotions, or just doing anything anyhow because of people say he's frustrated and he's tired because people have left his church and things like that. No, but this man, he is living based on some fixed principles. And that is exactly what you're revealing to us, that this man lives for the kingdom. Kingdom first, every other thing second.
Every other thing second.
Amazing.
Every other thing second. Yeah. So moving on. Let's go to the next slide. The next principle is one that also those who are close to DSA will know, and he has a book on it, and it's the principle that life is an opportunity.
Yeah.
DSA says that everything in life, everything around you is an opportunity to fulfill purpose. Everything around you is an opportunity to create wealth. Everything around you is an opportunity to be of service. Everything around you is an opportunity to be of help. Everything around you is an opportunity. And you know how passionate he is about Nigeria. Do you know that all the problems we complain today of in Nigeria, oh, this Nigeria, that, do you know that there are opportunities to create wealth, opportunities to create, to do something that nobody has ever done before? So DSA is somebody that I see, like we have mentioned before, that he converts everything convertible, and he sees opportunity in every situation. Every situation. For example, like I mentioned before, the recent fire that engulfed the old church or the old building. He used this as an example. He used it as an opportunity for propagation of the message. Just even used that opportunity. He was preaching while fire was burning down the building. Everything DSA does is an opportunity. Everything. So the amount of wisdom and knowledge that you sometimes say, it's just speechless. Sometimes when I look at the life of DSA and how he has been able to, for example, like the fact that he grew up in a very, very poor home, came from a village with just about 40 huts in Domila. You see that along the line, as DSA began to get more knowledge, more understanding about life, he didn't waste it. Rather, he took the opportunity that came with those experiences and he built something beautiful out of it. And that is why today we are here and we are celebrating DSA. So yeah, this is one principle I really believe that DSA leads. Otherwise, we will not be sitting down. Yeah,
Life,
will not be
life is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next principle, I'll skip the video for that. The next principle is the principle of understanding. The principle of understanding. We all know DSA that DSA is a man that is given to understanding. And there's a short video, very short.
Let's have it. I like this understanding. Let's have the video.
Yeah, let's have the video for understanding.
Understanding. I was in the HMT when Dr. Sunday talked about understanding. Give me understanding that I may live. The way he said it in that HMT. Give me understanding. It was like, you know, a wave. Wow. Let's watch the video that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking about 1005. So my priority will be leaders, but not existing leaders. The existing leaders were formed by different value systems, different paradigm, different worldviews that are different from mine. My greatest challenge is to be able to create a machinery and a mechanism of forming my own kingdom-oriented leaders. Like we are doing here now. You know, you are getting to know me more. Just 2 days. You are getting to hear me and you are getting to see into my mind. My goal will be those 2,000 people that will go with me from all over the world. There will be Americans, English people, Swedish, European, Germans, and there will also be Nigerians in diaspora. But my greatest challenge will be to, first of all, train those ones, 2,000 people minimum, to be able to have my kind of mindset and to have the kingdom understanding. I am very big about understanding. So I must change their worldview first. So people must be addicted, like me. Anybody that wants to work with me, they must be possessed. And they must be ready to die. So those kind of people are those I call leaders. Those who are ready to die for an ideal. And are ready to put everything on the table. And I will take care of their needs, I will pay them any amount of money they want to have, but they must be ready to work and die to fulfill the kind of vision they want to do. So anybody who is ready to give himself and ready to die is, to me, a leader. Not the ones who have the positions, not the ones who have the titles, and not the ones who have position, anything like that. Those are the ones I call positions. But they must be ready to die for the same ideal that we all have together.
Yeah. I remember this training like it's yesterday. I mean,
I think it's one HMT that a lot of people have not really watched.
Yes.
But it's maybe got the length of the videos or whatever. Because I know there's one video there that is like 6 hours.
6 hours. It's an HMT. People don't know it's HMT on understanding.
Understanding, yeah. And that's why I put it in the slide so that people can actually go there and watch it. The reason why I played that video, because you can see here Pastor Sunday, some of the things he was saying, that he's going back to Nigeria, he's going to raise up leaders that have his kind of mindset. And he made something, he said, after I made that comment, he said, because then have understanding, because I am very big on understanding. When it comes to understanding. Because at the end of the day, you might read his books, you might watch his messages, but if you don't have understanding of what the message this man is trying to pass across, even the understanding of the fact that this is a cause that you are willing to die for, then to him, as he said, you're not ready for the mission. You understand? And that's why when I hear a lot of people say, oh, Pastor Sunday, we are going with you. When you are going to Nigeria, I'm going with you. I keep quiet. I don't say much because I know that it will take a man who really understands Pastor Sunday to decide that I want to go to Nigeria with you. Honestly speaking.
He said people that are ready to die. Did you hear me? He said people that are ready to die.
People who are ready to die.
That's the understanding.
That's the understanding. Until you come to that point where you understand that this thing will cost me my life. Oh, if you have not gotten to that place, don't even say you want to relocate with DSA. Yeah. Wow. So let's move on. Let's go to the next slide. And the next, we are almost rounding up now. So the next principle I have is a principle that is very, 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 very common to Pastor Sunday. And I titled it because I was looking for a title to give to it. Is the principle called the silence is deadly. So what Pastor Sunday is just trying to say, and that's the whole basis of this movement. This whole movement that Pastor Sunday started was born out of this principle. Because DSA believes, if you hear him talk most of the time, that silence in the face of evil is evil itself.
Yeah, it's worse than the evil itself.
It's worse than the evil itself. He said not to speak is already to speak. You are speaking in the side of evil when you keep quiet.
Wow.
He said your silence speaks louder than you think. So silence also has a voice. So a lot of people will say, oh, I'm silent, or I don't want anybody to call my name. I don't want to be controversial. You not speaking, it means you're already speaking. It means you have already taken side. Because remember, Jesus Christ said that there is no middle ground. It is either you are gathering with me or you're scattering. So for those who are not gathering, they are scattering. So when you keep silent, and that's what Pastor Sunday will always stress, you have already spoken. And he said, and one thing he said that was so profound that I love so much is, I know too much to be silent. So when you see people speak out for justice, it's because there is something they know. And DSA has come to know that there is silence, that this principle is a core principle to hold. I will give a quote I think he used it in one of his books. Quickly. The quote is by the German Lutheran pastor, if you know him, Martin, is it Niemöller?
Yeah, Niemöller.
The post-war confession that he made. And this is the seriousness of what it means to keep quiet when you're supposed to speak. He said, first, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So you see, he knows this truth. The fact that you are not in politics doesn't mean you should keep quiet. Doesn't, oh, Pastor, you wrote a book, face your calling. Are you a politician? Keep quiet. Because you are not in in a particular sector doesn't mean you cannot speak out against the evil that is in that sector. And when you even started speaking out against the evil in the church, they say, what's your business? You don't even have a church in Nigeria. It's because he knows this truth, that you cannot afford to keep quiet in the place of evil.
And there's a whole book there. I don't know if people can see it. There's a whole book there on the plague of silence.
The plague of silence. And even that other book, when to pray, when not to pray, and when to stop praying, it's a beautiful book that people should read.
Amazing.
DSA will say there's no way to peace along the way of safety. So if you want to play safe, forget it. You are not ready.
Wow.
So for our time, let me move on.
Good.
The next principle is the principle of process. This one, I will not really, honestly speaking, I don't want to say much.
They should get the book. Get the book.
They should get the book. he said he was going to rename it process is the new result, but he said why process is more is as important as result.
Yeah, the new name, the new title actually now is process is the new result.
New result, yeah. Because I heard him saying that he was going to change the title, and they should just go and sit down with the HMT series on systems. Really understand the meat of this. It's just unfortunate that most of the slides is not showing very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to encourage people. I'm not going to say much, but DSA is a man that is given to process. He said in a video, if I was to play the video, that look, that we are so given to the outcome. And that's what Africans and the Nigerians are. They want to outcome. He said, but process, even if you don't get the result at the end of the day, the knowledge and experience you get going through the process is enough for you. So process is very important.
Let's watch the video if you don't mind, because I think it'd be great for us to watch the video on process, and then we can go to the next point.
Okay.
Yeah, let's watch that video, because why I just want us to play this video on process, because it's something that we all need, especially as Africans. We don't really value process. We want it fast. So let's hear what Dr. Sodi has to say about process. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We continue the message that we started about the fact that success is available and attainable to everybody. And today, the factor of success that I want to talk about is that if you really want to be successful, you must be diligent enough to go through the process. Many people just want to wake up one morning and just wake up being successful, or wake up being big, wake up being great, and just have everything at once. No, that is deception. You cannot have everything just at once. You must be willing and ready to painstakingly go through the process of production. You must not be one of those ones that want to have something for nothing. You must not be one of those people that want to have something where you don't pay the price for it. You must be willing to pay the price for anything that you desire to have in life. Don't just have a goal, but be willing to walk and go through the process of pain, of endurance, of sacrifice, of labor, of work. Just make sure you follow the order. Make sure you follow the rules. Make sure you follow due process, so that you will be able to get to where you want to go. Because that is the only thing that can assure you or give you a lasting success. So you must be a person of process. You must be thorough. You must be diligent. You must learn to pay attention to details and to minute, insignificant things. So you must pay attention to the details and the process of creation, the process of production, the process from getting from A to B must be thorough. You must make sure that you follow the rules. You must make sure that you don't omit any single or any small point in your quest to go and get to where you wish to find yourself. So be a thorough, diligent person. Diligence and being thorough to follow through the process is a major factor to becoming successful.
Wow. Where did you find these videos? Because watching this video, it does not look like the Dr. Sunday that we know today.
Yeah. I took this video because it's a combination of two short videos. Okay. So let people see that, look, what this man is preaching today did not actually start today. It is something that he has been preaching, and it's something that he has been living by. So because most of us just meet Dr. Sunday of recent, and we don't really know his journey. But when you see some of these old videos, and the man is still saying the same thing that he said 10 years ago, like some of the people who come, he's castigating men of God, he has been saying this thing years back. So that's why if you see some of the video, I actually went back to the old videos, not the recent ones, to prove that, look, this guy is somebody that has been living by the principles that he has been teaching.
Good job. Good one. Good one. All right.
So we can move on.
Yes.
The next one is the HMT we just completed.
It's still fresh.
is still very fresh. Systems. Like the other one, I would say, look, if you really want to understand Pastor Sunday's addiction to system, just go and sit down with the HMT series and watch it. Because Pastor Sunday is a man that is obsessed. In fact, his life is a system on its own. He has built a system around everything. Wow. This is a man that was able to build a system to bring addicts out of the streets and become mayors, to bring addicts out of the streets, to become superstars in Ukraine, until he was controlling 34% of the Kiev parliament. That is a man of system. So I'm not going to say much about system.
HMT on system.
Just go to HMT and get the book, System Building, for you to really understand who this man really is when it comes to system. All his life, everything. If you look at all his teaching, there's a system, it's systematic. Look at his YouTube channel, systematic. Even everything. Pastor Zari said yesterday, even the presentation we are doing today, everything about him is system. Yeah, although fine, he might not have been the one that came up with the idea, but at least the help that, okay, you can structure it this way, you can put it this way, is just like, you know that this man lives his life based on system. And I'll move forward to the next one, which is similar to what I've spoken before, and it's the concept of the principle of time management.
There is a poem that I can see there. Is this a poem on vanity?
Yeah, no. It's a poem I wanted to give on the system and also the lessons I learned from that poem.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Maybe if you wouldn't give the lessons, maybe it would be good if you read it. Just read it before we go to the next slide.
Okay, so let me bring it up here.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if it can be read. My vision is not quite good from here.
Okay, yeah. The poem is from the book System Building.
Okay.
Right? And it's a poem that is titled Vanity. I'll read. It says, well, what are we really doing? Do we live? We walk, we sleep, we talk. And we ourselves do not know that we are always running at a run. We rush like clockwork, try to stop. Lifts and those speed, through us up and down. Everyone rushes everywhere. Similarly, they fly on the ice. And so sometimes in a hurry, that they get married and get divorced, almost not on the move. We rush sometimes from the skin. And even there is no guess that life sometimes resembles a brief, dry outline. When the whole life is measured, ask yourself, and how much has been done? And tell yourself, be withered, yes, it seems to be nothing. Now, it might sound a little bit strange, but let me just draw what this poem was trying to say and the lessons we should learn from the poem before we move on. One of the lessons says, although life has meaning, many live a meaningless life because of system. 2, why? He said majority of people living on earth do not understand that all processes they engage in now are controlled by systems that are built by other men. And thirdly, if you do not build a system for yourself, others will build one for you without consulting you.
True.
So at the end of the day, you'll be living somebody else's life and somebody else's dream if you don't have a system for yourself.
Wow.
So I think we can move on to move on to the next slide.
Great.
Yeah, the next slide, I'll just spend like about 1 minute here.
Okay.
Which is time management. So we all know DSA said that time is something that must be converted. And there are 3 ways you can convert time.
Yes.
To me, it's like a broken record now. You understand? So the first way you convert time is to invest in yourself. The second way to convert time is to invest in others. And the third way to convert time is to produce a product. But you see, even the 3 is all targeted at people.
Yeah.
Because you invest in yourself, to give to people. You invest in others because you are giving to people.
Yeah.
And you generate a product to meet the needs of people.
Beautiful.
So at the end of the day, everything is just people, focus. So yeah, this is one principle that DSA, and you see DSA doesn't waste his time. Even in HMT, when it's time for him to like say hi, it's like his time is already calibrated. He knows how many minutes is going to be there. He knows how many minutes he's going to stay and celebrate with you. Once it is time, DSA is out. He's going to do something else. So that is a man who has time consciousness in his mind.
Beautiful.
The next point, which is the principle of cause and effect. I think I want us to play this video. This is the second to the last video I would like to play today.
Okay.
Cause and effect.
Okay, so that's video on cause and effect. All right.
Number 24.
Good. Wow, you really loading us with principles. Wow.
Why you shouldn't wait for miracles for the next year. Why you shouldn't wait for miracles for the next year. So, what should we expect? Where are we heading? Where are we going to with this message? Let me start by talking about one of my favorite quotes by Ralph Waldo Emerson, right? What it says is, shallow men believe in luck or miracles, but strong men believe in cause and effect. Shallow men believe in luck and miracles, but strong men believe in cause and effect. So instead of being busy waiting for miracles to come, it's better to get to sit down and to use this Christmas season to plan out something for your life, to plan out something better, to plan out your miracle instead of waiting for the miracle. Not because I don't believe in miracles, and not because I'm saying there are no miracles, and not because I'm thinking that you should not believe in miracles. I think if you are going to talk about documented miracles, I probably have more miracles than most preachers in the world, but I don't campaign with them. I don't push them forward. I don't use them as the big thing, because miracles is not the big thing. In Corinthians, it says miracles is for unbelievers. Miracles are for unbelievers. In the gospel, it says miracles are for our children's bread. In the Old Testament, we see that miracles is for the wilderness. Once people get to the promised land, they have to perform their own miracle by themselves. So Ralph Waldo Emerson knows what he's talking about. And even Jesus said that go and preach this gospel of the kingdom, and these miracles shall follow you. These signs shall follow you. Jesus expects miracles to run after you.
Wow. Great.
There for us, basically, if you're looking for miracle, life doesn't really operate. God never created the world to function by miracles, because that's one thing that has kept us in Nigeria, especially the church in Nigeria, bound. And that's why it appears we don't have any relevance. But the principle that DSA brought from here is principle of cause and effect, that everything that happens has a cause. So when you see it, trace it back. In the science field, they call it root cause analysis. So once something happens, there are so many methodologies. You trace it back to the root cause. But in Africa, we just say, oh, it's God. Oh, it's demon. Oh, it's the witches and wizards. Oh, blood-sucking demon. All sort of. But life was not created. And that's the way he lives his life. And that's why so many people cannot understand. I saw somebody on the internet saying that DSA, we should be very careful, because now DSA is trying to dissuade people from having faith in God. That is where the Antichrist is leading us to. I just laugh. Those are people who don't understand the principle of cause and effect. Yeah. So thought to the last principle, and it's the principle of quality. We've mentioned this briefly before.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've mentioned it briefly before. And you can tell whenever you are around DSA, from the way he dresses to the way he combines color.
Yes.
Everything. The first time I got to DSA's church and I saw the way the church was colorful, I said, this man and color, now wow. Everything was just like color. So that's how you see everything he does.
Quality.
He puts his mind, everything must be quality. And I remember when we came for HMT, you kept telling us whenever you give us assignments to do, you say, even though this assignment is not for us, the assignment is for you, you take it back home. But you see, this is one principle that DSA lives by, that everything you do, make sure it is the best. Yeah. Put your heart and your soul into it. Yeah. So that's a man who lives by the principle of quality. For our time, I will just move on to the second to the last principle for today, which is the principle of perseverance. Perseverance. There is so much I can say about this, but I know we are far gone with time. But I just want to point out something that DSA, you can't miss word that he's a man that perseveres. For example, DSA has been in courts, facing different court cases for over 15 years.
No, for 10 years. 10 years.
For about 10 years. Yeah. And it doesn't even appear as if he has a court case. DSA will leave the courts and come straight to HMT. And people outside wouldn't even know what has happened. But he's just coming from court. That is called perseverance. There's no excuse, okay, you know what? I will not be able to handle today. Let somebody else come and handle it because I have a court case. He will plan the whole event around that court case. Look at all the false allegations since DSA started Facebook Live. If it were some people, I'm not sure that's Facebook Live, because look at some other men of God in Nigeria. Just one allegation, you see them start shouting and blasting and calling the police to arrest this person, arrest that person. But for DSA, perseverance, because he has a goal. The goal is right before him. It's just like when he says, I put the goal before me, I do not look back. That is how DSA lives his life. He's pursuing that goal. I listened to a video where when they were asking, why is it that after all these challenges, court case, allegation, you are still going? He said, because I'm running for the prize. He was talking to that interview, I think, I can't remember his name, Pastor, one of the pastors, and he was telling that, and that's why I'm looking forward to die, because I want to go there and receive the reward. And that's why he's persevering. That is a quality I see in DSA, perseverance. And it's not easy for men to build that quality. In fact, his own is even I think his own is long suffering, just like the way the Bible calls it. Long suffering. So that's the one quality, one principle that I know that Pastor Sunday lives by. Even the HMT training, continuously, even though he's not getting anything from it, he's not making any money from it, he keeps doing it month in, month out. That's a man. And lastly, thank God for today, is a quality and a principle that he lives by, but at the same time, I want us to learn from him. Because we have been going through all these principles, but of what good if these principles are not put into our own lives or are not imbibed? And that's the principle I choose to title, Yes, You Can. Yes, you can. Because DSA says, whatever anybody has done, you too can do it. Life is not a mirage. And that's why he said life is predictable. So let's play this last video, the very first video on the link. Let's play the first video and we'll wrap it up for today.
If anyone could ever do it, then you can. Anything that anybody was ever able to do, there is nothing that stops you from doing it. This is a principle. You remember, I'm talking about life is predictable. One of the principles that makes life predictable is the fact that anything that anybody was ever able to do, every one of us can repeat it. If we, there are some principles behind it, but I'm going to tell you. That is why God gave us the Bible as a book of examples or book of principles. The reason this is important is because the Bible is given to us for us to see the example of other people that were able to please God. The example of other people that were able to do great things. If anybody was ever able to do anything in this world, that is a proof on its own. That is a principle that thing could be repeated by any other person. God created the whole universe, and it created the earth to function in such a way that we will know this as a fact, that anything that you ever aspire to do, just look for somebody who has done it before. If anybody was able to do anything, if anything was attempted by somebody and was successfully done, that thing could be repeated. Let's look at Bill Gates. If anybody like Bill Gates was ever able to make billions and will make them in the tens of almost $100 billion, it means that feat could be repeated by anybody who really seriously wants to do the same thing. That is one thing that you must know. There are no special people in that sense. Sometimes we put people on the pedestal and we think that people are special. We think that, only he alone could do it. Sometimes some people come to me and look at Pastor Sunday, only you could do what you have done. Wow, you are so special. God has anointed you to do that. You are the only one who can do that. No, my friend. If Pastor Sunday was able to do it, each one of you can do it as well. It doesn't matter what area of life. If anybody was able to do something, every other person can repeat it. Look at
Wow. Yeah. This is like I don't know why you chose this as your last principle, but I think it is a wise choice, because having all of the 26 principles before this final one, and I'm sure there are more principles, but I think you choosing to play this video where Dr. Sunday was saying that many people see him and say, "Oh, Dr. Sunday, you are a special person, anointed person." But Dr. Sunday is here saying that if I can do it, you also can.
Yeah. Like Dr. Sunday will always say that I am not special. If anyone will pay the price and imbibe these same principles, because he said something. He said, there are no failures in life.
Yeah.
There are only two categories of people. Those who don't know life's laws and principles. And those who know but refuse or are not able to pay the price. So if you know the laws and you are able to pay the price to live by those laws and principles, you cannot fail in life.
Wow.
You cannot fail in life.
Wow.
So that's why I chose it, because I want us to believe that, look, we've been listening to all these principles that this man has. These are some of his secrets. There is nothing mysterious about it. If we are able to commit ourselves, live by this principle, we'll get the same results that he has gotten in our own sphere of life, because they are general principles. Thank you, sir.
Woo! Wow. Well, this is a video everybody who is listening, anyone who is claiming to be a disciple or a follower of Dr. Sunday, this is a video that you must save. I just think this is a video that you must save for yourself. Why am I saying this? Because it's like in one video you can get 27 principles that you can begin to work on every day, so that you can begin to live out that life that God will have you to live. Because all of them are all principles of the kingdom. They are not just Dr. Sunday Adelaja's coined out principles. You see that all of them all have their roots in the Bible. and they are all kingdom principles. So it's a video I want everyone who is listening. If you've been with us for this long, you have to save this video. Save it for yourself, for you to come back again and watch and listen and write notes, pen them down, and begin to work on them. I mean, I call you Oga Chris. You've done such a great job. Great job.
Thank you
I
very
want
much.
to throw out the invitation once more. I don't know if we have callers already, people who have registered. But if you would like to call in at this point to contribute to today's discussion on DSA'S principles. Wow. I'm just thinking 27 principles. Wow. Amazing. If you want to contribute, you just have to go to Facebook Messenger and search for Move Agent. Move Agent on Facebook Messenger, and then write to us that I would love to call in, I would love to share my thoughts, and would like to receive your call. All right? So let's get our callers ready and to hear what they have for us today. While we await our callers, this is the latest book, How to Build Friendly Relationship with Your Child. Please do well to get it. Okay, I think we have a caller right now. Okay, we don't have. Okay, so this book, as I was announcing, How to Build Friendly Relationship with Your Child, it's right now at a pre-order price. So you could get this book for $3.99 because after the pre-order season or pre-order period, the price will increase. So if you're a parent there or you're just newly married, you have not gotten your kids or you don't have any child yet, you have to prepare with books like this. This is the second book that Sunday is releasing on on parenthood. The first one he released is How to Build Core Values in Your Children, in Your Kids. And this is the second one, which is How to Build a Friendly Relationship with Your Child. So please do well to get this book. I've been getting messages from people also about DSA'sbooks@gmail.com that they've not gotten responses. Well, please, you have to be patient because we don't have so much hands on that, but you can be rest assured that you will get your response. All right. So thank you for your patience. We have a caller right now. Okay. Do we have? Okay. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening. Hello. I think you will have to switch off your device so that you can hear.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Please speak. Hello. Okay, I think we have to call the we'll get that caller back. So please, I would like to give the announcement. When we call you, please kindly switch off your device because there will be a delay in you hearing from the studio. So when we call you, you just pick from the device that you used to receive the call, and we'll be able to hear your contribution. All right. Okay, so we'll still be waiting for more callers for today who would like to share their thoughts and their impressions. So please just write to us at Move Agents that you want to call in. Okay, I think we have the caller back. Hello, caller.
Hello, Dr. Anu. Good evening.
Please, can you speak a little bit louder, closer to your telephone?
Yeah. Hello, Dr. Anu. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. What a day.
Awesome.
I'm calling from Belgium. My name is Peter.
Oh, yes, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, I just want to contribute because when you were calling, I was just trying to park the car, so I was not able to pick up the phone. So
okay.
I was coming back from work. What a day, Chris! I just wanted to extend my greetings to him. He really did marvelous and lovely because all what he did today, he put 27 principles of a great man for us, for our benefit, into one video. You know, when he was mentioning this, all these video from YouTube, most especially the Life is Predictable, because that is the video I was just watching when you started the program.
Wow.
So that was the series I was watching, because I was working and I was just listening. It was when he invited Perez, his son, to talk with him, to analyze. You know, it was awesome. So it was that time this program started. I started watching, and I was not really concentrated, but I got it. When you talk about the 5 levels of truth, the truth series, I mean, I just want to say that those videos are very important video that is going to be useful for us as a people, as well as a Christian.
Yeah.
But what I find out that our people, because DSA don't talk about anointing or whatever or something like that, that is the reason maybe they feel reluctant not to. But these are great principles. These are values that we're supposed to abide with, that we're supposed to use as a Christians. Because our time for 30-something years now, we have been hearing breakthrough, all these things. It's not working. They need to understand, because I'm just happy, because yesterday one of my friends, I used to send him all these our message, lovely DSA messages and everything, just called me yesterday and wrote me a message and said, it's enough that I should not send him anymore. I was so down, because I thought he will understand. Because these are important messages, important values that we need to abide in our life. He's teaching love, principle, hard work, faithfulness, how you have faith in yourself for what you are doing, value to yourself, love, so many things that we need at this point of time. I just want to thank Chris for his wonderful presentation today. He really did well, he did awesome. I mean, he shows that he's an HMT student, you know. So he was able to put everything together and he analyzes. It's like, I mean, even also you. I mean, you are sitting there. I'm just looking at you. I said, man, I'm just so happy and to be identified with this, to be with this information and to be on this DSA family, because every day I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot, understanding, learning wisdom, learning patience, learning how to. I mean, so many things.
Wow.
That is in the teaching of DSA. I'm so happy, because I cannot. I mean, there's no day I won't listen to messages. There's no day I won't. And one thing about DSA messages is it's easy to practice. You just, okay, let me practice it. Let me try to not to be offended. If somebody tells you something, maybe something happened, and you just see that it's working. You just see that you are just another human being.
Yes.
You say, okay, I just want to practice love. Let me see. Let it come from my heart. Let this love and this passion, this maybe forgiveness or something happen. I mean, all these things are just practicable and it's working. You can just be feeling, okay, okay, handwork, okay, because they said we all have we don't waste our time, or we don't use our time well, because the time is for us to use and to use it well, and we are important. We are all equal, you know. So you try to see, okay, where do you go wrong? Where because we are serving, we are calling God, and He has the power, He has the authority, just to emulate. Because when I was watching Life Predictable today, when I was watching the sermon, when he talked about this son talked about Jonah, when God sent him a message and he refused, and when DSA explained the importance of that message, the reason why, what we must look at when we are studying, we are reading the Bible. You know, I've never heard it from any pastor. It's really awesome. I'm so happy. I just help me to extend my greeting to Chris, and I wish DSA happy anniversary, and thank you well for the good work you are doing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. It's always great to hear from you, to hear your testimony, and to hear those wise words from you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, that is Mr. Peter from Belgium. giving his feedbacks and appreciating the HMT. I don't know what he called you, bro Chris. He used the name to describe you, HMT graduate or something like that. So the constant HMT delegates. Yeah.
You can't see gold and leave it.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, we still have some more callers. We're going to receive their calls. So let's hear what people are saying. Let's hear what people are feeling. Let's see if they would like to share their thoughts. So if you're there and you want to share your thoughts with us, we are very open to receive from you, to hear what you have to share, your impressions, your feedback on the subject, DSA's greatest principles. We have another caller right now. All right, good evening, caller from Kyiv, Ukraine.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Anu.
Great.
This is Moyosore again from Ireland.
Awesome, Mrs. Moyosore. Thank you so much for calling. We want to hear your beautiful voice, so please kindly speak closer
thank you.
to the telephone.
Thank you so very much. I just want to say a very big thank you to Chris Al in the building, y'all, everyone. Big it up for Chris Al. Oh my God, he blew the roof.
Awesome.
Chris Al.
Awesome.
I owe you a McDonald's if I ever bump into you in the UK.
Great.
I owe you a Big Mac.
Good.
Permit me to be a little bit naughty here. I wrote it in the comments that somebody actually wasted time coming up with 27 nonsensical questions about DSA. And this is Chris R. coming up with 27 life-impacting, life-changing, brain-altering, mind-renewing principles from what he has learned so far.
Wow.
Wow. From DSA. And he's only just been in contact with DSA in a year plus?
Yeah.
Or maybe 2 years. And you can see he, like how many hours have we spent on this slide? And I could see he was even rushing. He couldn't get through all his points.
Yeah.
And Chris Al said something, and he said, nobody knows DSA unless you have actually been to Ukraine, you've been in contact with him. And I want to say something now that for anyone that wants to know DSA, I know DSA will say for you to know me, you need to watch at least 200 of my videos, read a few books, and then you'll be able to get a grasp of, his thinking.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to have a snippet, like a preview of DSA, just go back and watch this program.
Yeah.
Go back and watch this program, and you will get a preview of what his thinking is like, of what DSA is. Just a snippet, just a bit. I am telling you, I have been screaming up and down with each point Crystal will come about, I'll be like, yes, that's the one.
Wow.
And then he comes up with another one. I'm like, oh, okay, no, that's not the one. This one is the one.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Awesome.
He's done a good job.
Awesome.
And I would just like to give it up for Chris House tonight. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, Moyosore, thank you so much for your call. Great to hear you. I mean, I don't know if it was a plan. Krista, were you planning for 27? What inspired your 27 number? We can't hear you.
I actually put together 25, but as God will have it. No, I sent it to you before.
Yeah.
Then later I sent it again. So I don't know, but I think that was God. That was God too. I just had to increase it. I didn't even know that somebody came up with 27 nonsensical points.
Interesting. Now I was thinking you were even planning 28. Like, okay, Dr. Sunday is 28th of May, so you give 28 points.
I didn't know.
Well, it's amazing. I think anyone who really wants to work on himself and works on these 27 principles, the difference will be clear. We still have more callers, so we'll be awaiting more callers. Please kindly share if you're watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Please hit that share button and let's share. All right, we have another caller with us this evening. Good evening, caller. Hello, caller.
Hi. Oh, hi, Dr. Anu. How are you doing?
Well, we are having a great time. I'm good. I've been listening to these 27 principles that Bro Chris has shared. Yeah, I think I am feeling very great.
In fact, not only you, I'm so excited here. I just want to thank brother Chris for the wonderful job he has done. I was just following all through, and the way he systematically arranged his presentation tells me he's also trying to create a system on that presentation.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, before you continue, sir, can you tell us who is calling, please, and where you're calling from?
Oh, sorry, it was out of, excitement.
Yeah.
So, my name is Solomon Raj. I'm calling from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. You're welcome, Mr. Solomon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I said I just want to say a big thank you to Brother Chris. He did a very wonderful job.
Yeah.
Yes. So he talked about the DSA's greatest discovery, which is life is predictable. And also he also talked about he didn't really talk about this, but when he was talking about life is predictable, something came to my mind when DSA was talking about how to create something from nothing. So I was wondering, how on earth can a man just think of creating something from nothing? It's just beyond our human understanding and our human knowledge. Recently, I was just dwelling on that. So if I want to create anything from nothing, it means that I have to create the raw material that I have to use. So my question, though DSA is not here, is that if you want to create anything from nothing, do we have to create even the raw material itself? Or do we just start creating from where God has created, what he has given to us? Yeah, so those are the questions that we're going to
before you continue your contribution.
Not until when Chris said something that you have to feel in yourself.
Okay.
Even by feel. Yes.
Okay. I think you're listening to me from another device. Okay, but no problem. I wanted to just say that the question you asked Dr. Sunday, if you listen to his teachings, he actually has some teachings on how to create something from nothing. So I think it would be great if you can search for that teaching on YouTube. I think you will see maybe 3 or 4 videos on that subject, how to create something from nothing. If you listen to those videos, I believe you'll be able to get answers from them. But if you still don't get your answers, then you might send your question to sundayadelajablog.ask so that we can ask it during one of the Ask episodes. All right. So you can continue your contribution, sir.
Yes. So actually, I listened to it, but I didn't see. It was while I was listening that question formed in my heart because I was struggling. Okay, where is the raw material going to come from? Do I have to also create it? How can I create raw materials, unseen raw materials? So this was the question building up. So I don't know if he actually talked on how to do that. But anyway, I'm just so excited that I'm part of this. And I would just want to say a very big thank you to Chris.
Yeah.
And also to you. You are doing a very wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
I was looking at your face recently. I wanted to ask, is Anu fasting or because
Dr. Sunday said be tough on yourself. So this is you will compare Dr. Sunday's pictures. You see, Chris played a video of Dr. Sunday some years back.
Yes.
The difference is clear now because it's a face. So don't worry, my face will be nice in a matter of years.
Okay. All right. Anyway, your face is just glowing. Yeah, glory be to God. We thank God that we are really part of it. And Pastor Chris, thank you so much. Your voice is still well known. Even when I was driving, I just heard the voice. I said, that is Chris' voice, the HMT orator.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. God bless you all.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you so much, Mr. Solomon from Massachusetts. Wow, amazing. Chris,
Yes, sir.
you played the video today that we should be tough on ourselves.
Yes, so.
I mean, but this is actually something that Dr. Sunday has said it to me in many stylish ways. That you boys, you're just too slim. What's wrong with you? When I was in your age, I was like this. I was hefty. I said, DSA, I'm hearing. We'll work on it. Awesome. Okay, I think we have some other callers. Okay,
Hello,
good
sir.
evening, caller.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, ma. No, your voice sounds familiar, though.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, can you please introduce yourself? Where you're calling from?
My name is Taiwo. I'm calling from Nigeria.
Exactly. I know you've called before.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, please. I'm saying because your voice sounds familiar. I wanted to know if you've called into the program before. I mean, not this program, but Dr. Sunday's programs.
My name is Taiwo.